Welcome back to the Bunt, the number one podcast in skateboarding, brought to you by the number one shoe in skateboarding, Vans. Off the wall since 1960, motherfucking 6. I'm D Jones. I got my main man, the Ghost, with me. As always, we got we got Jay Burrows and Ants1 behind the scenes.
It's a
Can't
cool
mess those
thing.
up because Ants wants to hit his soundbite, you know what I'm saying? This is the season finale of season 21. The Ghost, I have to thank you for making my dreams as a podcaster come true. We truly have skate royalty in the building, and it's thanks to none other than yourself. So, without further ado, tell the people what we have planned for them.
I mean, if you somehow haven't seen the trailer and you're just listening and you didn't see the title of this episode, you may not know that we got Triple OG legend Mike Carroll in the house. Truly an honor, and not to throw Donald under the bus. I could tell he was nervous in the first 5 to 10 minutes. I was dying, but that's a good thing. Being nervous is just like, it takes us back to being kids and fucking watching Modus every chance you get and just being in awe. And we love getting our favorite skaters from childhood all the way up to today, because these guys can't stop, won't stop these days, and it's amazing to see. So great conversation with Mr. Carroll. Truly honored to have him on the pod. Thank you. Then we take it, straight to the post office one last time this season, and then wrapping it up with the NHL and NBA finals talk and a little KD trade
and a little NFL.
Yeah.
My pronunciation was on point in the rundown, so don't get too angry with me.
Michael Penis Jr.
Dude, too far, man. Like, you don't think the guy was ridiculed in school?
That's what you said.
No, I said Penix. Anyways, make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Bunt Live. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/@TheBuntLive. Hit us up on our Patreon, patreon.com/TheBunt. And then finally, head over to our website, thebuntlive.com. By the middle or beginning, sometime in July, we'll be dropping new clothes, a little something special for the summer. Couple hats, couple shirts, and some shorts, because the heat waves are here. The people are sweating, and you need to keep skating. So get yourself some Bunt shorts when they drop. Ghost, it has been a hell of a season, dropping the knowledge. Can you do it for us one last time? It's time for the Ghost Shoutout of the Week.
I got you, man. You already know what it is. It's Shoutout of the Week, brought to you by The Den, a skate video app and home of The Den TV, your 24/7 live skate video streaming channel. The Den TV is constantly serving up a selection of the highest quality videos, from the classics to the latest releases and everything in between. Throw it on while you're kicking back with the homies, cooking a little dinner, or to help you get through that extra boring Zoom meeting. Just hit play and let The Den deliver the heat you need to kick your daily routine up a notch. The Den is available for free on iPhone, Android, the web, and on the big screen with Apple TV and Amazon Fire TV. All right, D Jones, in honor of the legend, Mr. Spanish Mike, you know I had to do it. We going with Atlantic Drift Crew Shoutout of the Week. They hit up Kazakhstan. The whole squad was up in that shit, ripping. I'm gonna start naming names and probably forget a few. Apologies, but Kyron, you know what I'm saying? Swag Lord, Rowan, our boy, that ride on 50-50 of Doom was insane. You know what I'm saying? Nick Stain, you know what I'm saying? Pushing around plazas and shit like a G. Who else? Max Palmer was out there. Fucking, it's a great video. Go check it out. Spanish. I highly recommend you go watch it too, man. Them talking about Breaking Bad. I don't even know what the fuck that means. But Atlantic Drift, thank you for blessing the skate world with yet another edit.
And I also have a shout out of the week. and it has to go to Small Bounty, a short film by Brandon Cortez, who absolutely killed it. You know, star-studded event. You got Toby Ryan and Dylan Jabe, but you know, the real shout-out goes to his brother, Jake Cortez. Absolutely snapped. My type of skater, man. You got the manis, you got the backside flips. Absolutely killed it. Congrats on your guys' video. What the fuck is funny about that?
I just remembered because it's in this episode that we recorded the other day. I chirped you for dropping that, and then Mason's line was too good when he says goes on free skate mag once. I don't know if that made the final cut. I'm tired of Mason, man. I don't know if that made the final cut in the edit, but no, that was a great video. I just found it hilarious that Donald, I don't think you actually did this, but I said you did it, and then it was just funny when you just like dropped it, and I was like, oh, you fucking watch one video, you think you got a secret gem, and all of us had already seen it.
Why would it be a secret gem? Fucking hell, the disrespect.
Mason took it to another level. Goes on free skate once.
Yeah, Mason's fucking growing his hair out and wearing hats now, and he thinks he's some new man. He's Mason reborn, you know? Whatever. Anyways, love you, Mason. Please don't fucking hate me. Until it becomes like Buffalo versus Baltimore, then we'll become enemies again.
I would love to see an actual like wrestling match. Like Mason, me versus Mason after he beat me in the finals would have been nice with the gloves and everything.
All right. There's only one thing left to do before we get into the interview. Floor is yours.
Let me see. What I get up to this week? I went over to Allen's. You know what I'm saying? Met up with Jolski. Had a couple Beamers. You know what I'm saying? Ice cold. You know what I'm saying? The goods. And then different day. When was this? I can't remember what day. Went over to Farside. Why not?
Of course you two would.
You know what I'm saying? Farside. Can't go wrong. I think that was Saturday. It was after Go Skate Day. Couple Beamers there. You know what I'm saying? We run in the East. And earlier in the week, I believe it was Thursday, I went to the Comrade. Couple Beamers there on the patio. So you know what I'm saying? If you want to pull up to the East End, you could just get supplied anywhere. Get that perfect buzz with the coldest beer in the game. It's Beamer beer, baby.
Someone's got to put a stop to this you and Joel thing, man. You guys are just out running patios left, right, and center thinking you run the East End. Safa and Joel fucking.
I put a stop to it today. Yesterday was my last unhealthy day. Went ham on some body ollies, some strawberry Haagen-Dazs, all kinds of chips and shit.
Jeez.
So today we're trying to shrink this little gut that I've developed over the last couple months. It's health season.
All right. Enough of us.
Oh, one more. I got one more little shout out.
Can't stop him today.
Our boy Noah T. We should post the link to his blog. He has begun the journey. Last I saw, he was in Thunder Bay, and he made local news, I believe. So Noah, be safe.
Thunder Bay.
Why you gotta?
Just saying. They're fucking begging for shit up there.
Noah, we're proud of you. Stay safe on the road. He's skating from Ontario to fucking BC. It's insane. And fun fact, I had to look this up because someone called Terry Fox boy when I was watching something like young man or boy, and I was like, it hit me because when we were kids learning about Terry Fox, he seemed like a grown ass man because we were fucking like tiny. Yeah. So I just Googled it real quick to refresh my memory. You know, this this legend had his leg amputated at 18 and ran across the country with one leg at age 21, man. So I take a quick Google if you're out there and just look at pictures of his face. Now that we're fucking grown men, so hats off to Terry Fox, a true Canadian icon, and Noah T, we're proud of you. Keep us posted and check out the blog.
The coolest thing Noah's doing along the way is stopping in these cities and working with the local skate communities and meeting the kids. Absolute legend. Noah, we love you. OG leader. That's our fucking dog. Congrats, Noah. And yeah, safe trip. It's time. Skateboard Hall of Famer, one of the greats, Mike Carroll. Let's get into it.
94 Sodi.
All right, you want to get back to lunch? I love you. That's what I've been up to.
That's awesome.
Do you guys have
Wholesome
kids?
Yeah, I have a 4.5-year-old.
Yeah.
I just walked into school right now.
Yeah, boy or girl?
There's a little boy.
Oh, sick. You got a little homie, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's my dog.
Yeah. It's a trip, though, right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You
See
get a
time
whole...
fly in a whole new perspective.
Yeah, and definitely a new perspective on all kinds of stuff. Just development, people. People are the way they are. Have a little bit more understanding about lame people. It's not their fault.
All right, well, let's get this started. Never thought I'd say this, but we got Mike Carroll in the building, Skateboard Hall of Famer. Not sure if you're our first, but congrats on that.
Thank you.
Mike, what's happening, man?
Not much, dude. Just like you guys just saw, been in dad mode. And that's pretty much it. And been skating a lot lately. So that's been fun. Yeah, being a dad, as you know, I'm not sure what your time was like to be able to skate, but I did not have the energy or care, especially to go sit at a spot and when I could just be with my daughter, you know what I mean? So like traveling, like, oh, no, you guys got that. No. So yeah, pretty much just that. And yeah, I don't know what else. The Hall of Fame happened last year. That's pretty cool.
That's epic.
It like, honestly, it's something I didn't really trip on. I wouldn't, I mean to say I wouldn't have tripped on, but like, I think maybe having a daughter now, it kind of had a little bit more meaning to it, it helped me appreciate it a lot more. I think I probably would appreciate it. I appreciated the skater of the year for sure, but it's the meaningfulness was just a little heavier. Cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, Mike, we start every show off the same. You got to hit us with your favorite skate moment and your favorite sports moment.
Oh, the favorite skate moment. I wrote that down because I wanted to be ready for that. But I'm trying to remember this. Oh, wait. I got the sports moment. So I'm not a big sports buff, but so I'll get two. Can I get two?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So one of them was we were up in Sacramento visiting people, probably on a film trip during Fully Flared, I think, or maybe even after that. But it was around the time the Maloofs were involved with skating, and they hooked it up to so where we could get the court like before the game. So we were all just playing around, and this happens all the time. Not all the time, but I'm usually pretty good at it. Half court from behind, over the head, and I made it. And I think it was Mike Mo's brother was filming it, and I was so psyched. I was like, "Oh shit, you got that!" But then he wasn't filming.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So that was, but I'll take that because I was at an arena, So
that's awesome.
But me and my wife, when we first started dating, she took me to a Lakers game, and yeah, so we were there, and we were just kind of joking about like, oh, it'd be funny if we're on the kiss cam, And then next thing you know, we were up there at a Lakers game. Yeah. And then come to find out, Rick and Megan were there at the game. So, and they didn't know we were at the game. So they just saw me and Candace just pop up on the kiss
No
cam.
way.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
on the jumbotron. So those are my sports moments right there.
Those are wicked.
Hell yeah. What
Yeah.
era of the Lakers was that? Was that LeBron or Kobe?
So we started hanging out in 2010. So
Oh, hell
yeah.
So
Was Kobe still
last
playing?
championship. Yeah. They beat
Yeah.
the Celtics in game 7 that year.
Yeah. So yeah,
Big things.
we used to go to games a little bit, but not a lot. She was a big Lakers buff. I'm usually just a fair weather fan when it comes to playoffs and finals. You know, pick my team. Usually pick the opposite of what Rick's going for, just to piss him off.
That's perfect.
But I'm a fan of the game 7s.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't like
That's
me to
all
say
we're looking
that.
for.
He doesn't like that kind of stress.
Oh, it is a lot of stress. But Mike, take us back to the beginning, man. Where'd you grow up and how'd you get into skating?
I grew up in Daly City, California. It's just right outside of San Francisco. And so I'm not sure. It's on the coast. When I started skating, I could skate down the street to the bus stop that was in San Francisco. So I don't know if that gives you an idea on how close it was. But so yeah, Daly City. And what got me into skating is I was 10 years old and my cousin started skating before us, me and my brother. And my brother was slowly getting into it. And so my cousin brought his skateboard over to my grandma's house. I feel like I've been trying to figure this out. It was around Christmas time. It might've been Thanksgiving then they just put me on the board and it was kind of a downhill slant. And so and the street turned. So I would just go straight and then I wouldn't know how to get off because I was going too fast. And I would just hit the curb or hit the trash cans. Like I've slammed at some trash cans before. So, but yeah. And then my first board was from Toys R Us. So I think, yeah, that Christmas ended up getting a board for Christmas, which was a Nash Executioner from Toys R Us. You guys know Toys R Us?
Oh yeah.
All
They're still
right.
kicking.
Is there some up there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Still got a
sick.
couple.
Nice. I haven't seen one
didn't
up
know
this
that.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my worst nightmare. Toys R Us.
Oh yeah. What's
Dude.
the toys?
Credit cards get killed in there, man. Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels tracks we've come and gone.
Charlie's into Thomas the Train right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
A
She's graduated from Miss Rachel to Thomas the Train. So
yeah. What would you consider was your first big break in the skate industry?
big breaks. So there were moments, and I don't know if they were big breaks. Before I rode for FTC, they had ads in Transworld, and they got a photo of me doing an ollie airwalk off a jump ramp, and it was me, a few other people, kind of a collage, like placed in a circular. But anyway, yeah. So they put me and some other skaters in an FTC ad. So you couldn't see the jump ramp. It was just more of a cutout, you know,
Yeah.
little blonde hair, flat top. That was my first introduction to being in a magazine. So I don't know.
That's epic.
Yeah. But the industry or like getting sponsored, like
Usually
I think-
people say something like that or meeting someone.
yeah, so I think it was going to skate camp. There's like the Visalia skate camp that they have that's in the woods right now.
Mhm.
They used to have that at like colleges. So San Luis Obispo, Cal Poly was the first one we went to. And there, I met Mike Ternasky and some other pros that still kind of know that are still around today. But like, so Mike Ternasky, and then the following years met, they had that skate camp again, and it was that in Santa Clara. And that's when I met Ternasky again, kind of a little bit better. And then the H Street dudes, they're all there as counselors. And me and my brother, after we left that session that week, said, you guys could come up and skate and we'll show you spots and stuff like that. And that's when they were filming for Shackle Me Not. So, showed them around the spots and around San Francisco, and took them to San Francisco State. You know where Duffy, like grinds the rail, and there's the long kink rail he does the backsmith through and questionable. That's before your guys' time, huh?
No.
Are you guys knowing about?
Yeah.
I was playing. But so San Francisco State, it was like a 4-stair rail, and I did a 50-50 on it. I learned it that day while they were there. They were learning 50-50. I think maybe they had done it before, but they're kind of new 50-50s on rails. So I did it. I think I was like 12 or 13 at the time. But
damn.
So short story long, I think it was probably meeting Ternasky at the state camps and then showing the 8th Street dudes around. And then that footage ended up in Shackle Me Not. So it was kind of my sponsor me video, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then there was Fogtown. There was the skate shop, Concrete Jungle. After showing those dudes around SF, Concrete Jungle, they sponsored like Danny Sargent, a bunch of SF heads that were super sick. They like brought in some little, photos that your parents would show you as little kids, brought in some photos like that of me skating that like my brother or someone took, and wrote them a little letter on why they should sponsor me or why, what I would try to do for them.
Wow.
And handed that to them, and then I ended up getting sponsored by them. So
That's epic.
Yeah, and then a few months later, I saw Ternasky at some AM contest. It was like a sponsored AM contest. He just went to watch, and then he's like, "What's up? You're gonna want to put that footage of you in the new H Street video, and what's up? You want to ride for H Street?" And I was just like, I got a sponsor, but because Concrete Jungle was sick, that was like sicker than almost even PAL or any of the companies back then, to us, the local, it's the local. So, but then like after a few months, I was just like, quit my first company or,
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So felt lame. And that's where Jake Phelps lived. And he's the one who I handed my little photos and whatnot to.
No
Sick.
way. Wow.
Yeah. So that's where I met Jake Phelps too. So
Sick.
Crazy.
yeah.
You got the hat on, EMB, Triple OG over there, man, representing. Love it. Do you have an EMB story from back in the day that maybe the people haven't heard?
If I had a little bit more time and like to try to hone in on like a person or like six, just I don't know, the 7, like LeVar killing it up to 7. I can't give any details. It's just like those kind of sessions that would just start. You're just skating around all day, and then like random sessions would start, and like LeVar doing like 10 tricks down it. Henry Sanchez doing backside flip down it. Like this shit's a big deal back then, like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And there was footage. I don't think it ever came out. Yeah, just his big spin. It was just really gnarly and rad to watch Henry progress and get really good and do all the shit that he did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, yeah. But on that trip that we just went on, we were in Indianapolis and we were headed towards Pittsburgh, and then we stopped off, took a detour to Cincinnati, and we saw James Couch there. So that was pretty sick.
Oh shit!
Hadn't seen him in hella long. So we just talked about our bodies and how they're not working anymore.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. It's so hard to give specific stories.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Ages ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, many moons.
Sodi, 1994.
Mike Carroll is the skater of the year.
An epic honor. What do you remember about winning that? And what did it mean to you at the time? And now with your daughter, what's it mean to you now?
Like at the time, there was only 4. I don't know if that even makes sense what I was trying to say right there about only 4. It was just so new, but it was so like I think I had gone to all of the parties, and I wasn't even sponsored when I went to the first one, the Tony Hawk one. But it was just like crazy because you just see these larger than life figures getting these awards, and it was just a trip. Just it felt special to be at that party, being in their presence. And then next thing you know, like I found out that I was getting that, and I was confused as to why. Like I didn't understand why. Why would you want to pick me? That's like I don't know. And I still try to look back and like, what did I do to deserve that? And I just but I feel I appreciate it. I have always appreciated it. And the fact that it's gotten to what it is now, like people just the whole SOTI campaigns and just all the parts and the strategies and all of that, and which is rad. It's a trip, and it's a really big deal. It's rad, and but the party was sick. I think I drank like 4 bottles of the strawberry booms. I was there, and then I had to take off and got someone to give me a ride so I can get another 2 bottles of booze. And then it was super fun. It was rad that everyone from Embarcadero were there, and all my friends, my girlfriend at the time, and just like up on stage with my North Face puffy and my polo velvet, is it velour? Yeah, velour polo hat. But and just like getting all my friends up on stage, and I felt like it was all of ours, like it's to be able to accept something like that as an individual, especially at that time, it just felt weird. I felt like it was all of ours because Embarcadero, so. But yeah, I appreciate it.
Speaking of Embarcadero, I forgot I had a follow-up question. Who are the T-Dogs?
T-Dogs were people that weren't locals, or if one of us were acting a certain kind of way, we'd be called a T-Dog. T stands for hard, which is short for something.
Mm-hmm.
Read the R. So you're not allowed to say that anymore. So it's a good thing we have T-Dog. We were very conscious about that back then. We didn't want to say that word.
Sure, that went into that. Yeah.
Okay. That's hilarious. I think I was talking to a T-Dog earlier today, and they said to throw that in there.
Yeah. It was just people that were going through just acting.
It's epic slang.
Yeah, you know how it is when you're growing up. You got a lot of slang, a lot of inside words. Jake Vogel, he was like the king of making all the nicknames and slang up. He probably made up 80 to 90% of everything that we were saying.
I feel like we could ask you a million questions, but we'll have to skip through your career at certain parts. But can you take us back to, I guess, after Plan B and the shaping of Girl from your perspective? How did that go down?
Like how we, like the idea behind Girl, or how?
Yeah, and actually pulling the trigger, like when it started to come into your guys' heads and actually like pulling the trigger and doing it.
So I think it started while we were filming virtual reality for Plan B. And I was super stressed out at the time. Like the pressure just was, I don't work well under pressure. And at the time, Mike Carroll was just really like motivating. He would try to motivate you. And in the way that I wasn't good at being motivated in that way. And just also the other thing was that Hensley got retired. He had a retirement part in Questionable, and then Sal ended up having a retirement part in virtual reality, and it was just like, fuck, like, and so all of that stress, and you got to do this trick and you got to do that trick. It just weighed in, and so it kind of came up one time. Me, Rick, and Danny Way, we were all hanging out. I think we were up in Santa Barbara at the Power House skating, and we all talked about the idea of starting a different company, quitting, and then I think a few months later, Rick was going with the idea, and we were talking about it a lot, and then we hit up Danny, and then he's like, "What are you talking about?" So he probably was just like, "I was just venting. You guys are tripping. You guys are serious about this shit." And so it started with that, and then just we started talking to some people, like Sheffy and all these dudes that skated for Blind and whatnot. And because Rick was down in LA skating with everyone, so he was talking to them, and kind of just how all got started for the most part. Spike went to Schmidt Stick with Paul Schmidt to get our boards made, and Schmidt wasn't trying to make boards for him. He needed to know what was happening, but Spike didn't tell him. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we got shirts made on a tour for that summer tour of '93, but we're still riding for Plan B, Blind, and 101 and all that stuff. So we wore the shirt on the tour, not like every day or anything. It was just, we had the shirts, we wore them more. It wasn't like this big promotion thing,
Planting the seed, though.
What's that? Yeah, it was just getting kind of excited about it. And then, then back to the city contest, we met up with Mike Carroll in Daly City, because that's where I live. So we asked him to meet up, and we told him, and it kind of sucked, but it's just it's something we had to do it like that, because how we would have gotten, like, for lack of a better word to say it, cock block with all the companies and all the wood shop and whatnot. So, right. I mean, that's the only way that we could have done it. is just kind of like blindsiding them like that, having certs and the boards ready for the contest and all that, that day, not giving like a 2-week notice,
Yeah.
Ever
since the early days, word on the street was it was super hard to crack the official ranks of the girl and chocolate teams, to the point where even Costin had a hard time getting on. What's the story of that, just from your perspective?
So that's not completely right, but so Eric didn't have a problem getting on. He was already getting on from the start. It was just maybe a year or two before that. It was just like being little kids and stuff like that. It's like when you get older, especially at that time, I started to learn to kind of hate with an open mind, like knowing that, you can hate on someone maybe and realize what it is, if it's jealousy or, or you just don't know them, their sense of humor. You're seeing it from afar, but you don't know them, and then, but then you get to know them and they're cool, they're good people. So that's kind of what that was. But yeah, he didn't have a hard time getting on at all, if it would have happened a couple of years earlier, it would have been a hard time.
Right. So a little later down the line, the great Canadian legend Rick McCrank. Was it something similar with Rick? How did that one go down?
It's funny. We've been talking about this a lot lately. People getting on and off, and but so it was when Colin got on, and he wanted to get Crank on, and he brought it up, and kind of like what I just said, you see someone, the way they skate or whatever, or they act cocky after a certain trick, and you're just like, what the fuck is this dude? And he thinks he's the shit, like, or fuck him, or like whatever, like, oh, Benny Hanna, like, fuck that, like Benny Hanna, so, but then, so we just couldn't see that. But then for some reason, I don't know, maybe it was a year or so later, it came up, and we had kind of been around Rick, because he was skating with Eric. They were filming for Medic Monty. And so we've kind of been on some sessions with him, and, you say, what's up? You get to know someone, crack some jokes. You get to know that that person isn't who you were trying to make them in your own mind. And, you're just jealous because someone's fucking ripping, and you're just a little kid, or not a little kid. We are older, but it is some immature type shit. But like I said, gotta hate with an open mind, because
I like that.
Seifa once referred to it as someone also disarming the hate. When you're like, I prefer to not meet some people because I enjoy hating them, But then when you meet them and you like them, and you're like, oh, fuck, I guess it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's funny how it is like that, right? Because you're only hating on them because you don't know them. And like we've been at either contests or demos or something, and like a friend of ours or someone we know is announcing, and they're cracking jokes, and we think it's the funniest shit. And then someone that doesn't really know him is like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah,
exactly. It's just like,
you need someone to hate, man. So.
Yeah. No,
and you gotta find someone new.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it is fun, but like, you can't do it with such an absoluteness.
Nah, yeah, you gotta break down that wall. There have been some amazing talents to come out of Canada who rode for Girl or Chocolate Flow up here. We always wondered how come the likes of guys like Travis Stanger, Wade Fife, or Derek Swaim, to name a few, never got the bump up to AM or made it on, the real team.
Triggity Trav. That's what we used to call him.
The greatest skate talent Canada's maybe ever seen.
He's gnarly. Yeah. The only thing I can say is just them not being around So it's like an out of sight, out of mindness. It's not like nowadays where it's like Instagram. It's almost like they're in your face all the time, and it's yeah, it's and that's why a lot of people get on teams and stuff like that because they're skating with someone a lot. Like people quit companies to skate for this other company because they're skating with those dudes a lot. So there's no real reason why. I just can only assume that it's just that it wasn't. They just wasn't. It didn't seem like it was on. They were on our radar as much as everyone else thought. I guess if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes a lot of sense. Like they should have just gone down to Cali or something and kicked it for a whole winter.
Or something. It's not like it shoulda, coulda, woulda, but like I just don't. It was no one's fault. It was just maybe it was pursued, and maybe it was easy for us to just say, do that, why, and then kind of just not be proactive about it. But nothing against like their talents or anything like that. It was just. Yeah, sorry. I don't know how to stop answers. I just keep talking.
No, that makes perfect sense. I mean, obviously, as Canadians, we always they were like pro skaters in our heads when we were kids, but they weren't actually. But like we always just wished for them that it went that way. But yeah, it makes sense if they're staying up here for the most part.
I think there should be something that gets figured out within like the countries, and the distributors, and just a lot better cohesive relationships, especially with people coming up.
Yeah, I feel like you guys did a great job with that though, with Lakai for sure, with just having guys in Europe and like just having it be one big family still. It didn't feel like super separate.
As opposed to being like, there's the Euro guys and stuff like that, It's like we should just all be one. And yeah, I mean, we tried to do that, like with Lucas and all them out there and dudes in England and Canada too.
Yeah, Ted DeGrow and stuff. I feel like he was on the Kai right for a while. Yeah, when you look back at it, whether it's Lakai or Girl or Chocolate or any brands, is there any people that you regret not bumping up looking back? One that always popped into my head was Carlos Ribeiro when he was on Chocolate for a minute.
Yeah, there can't be any regrets for sure. I think people either don't turn pro or don't get on just because there's got to be something going on, or not something going on. It's just not clicking, and it's just like there's so many rad skaters out there and they're cool too. And just they're sometimes this has to be, I don't know, something. And it's like kind of just like a feeling, I guess, like maybe it's a chemistry. I don't know. And it's nothing to do with the person at all. But no regrets. I mean, he's doing really good, right? So
yeah,
he figured it out.
Yeah, for sure.
One person who kind of just ejected himself from the skate world, Brandon Biebel. What was that whole situation like from your perspective? And you have a Biebel memory you'd like to share with the people?
I love Brandon. He's one of the best humans ever. That is very unfortunate. I understand why he kind of ejected himself. I don't really want to speak on his behalf. I will try to give my perspective from my perspective. But in 2020, when all this chaos was going on, he posted a video and it was about someone. It was someone getting their ass beat, knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
And he put some emojis, and then the fucking Instagram went nuts with it and made this whole story about how he was the person, like he followed the person. He was friends with the person knocking the other dude out, which he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone just believed in it. And um, granted, he put some laughing emojis on some dude getting knocked the fuck out, and which isn't cool. But at that time, it's like it's world star, like all that shit. Like
Yeah.
people are, and it's just like you're kind of numb to seeing shit like that, So it's just like you don't really think about what is actually happening to that human being and that they're an actual human being. So, and it's something he and I and all of us can learn from, and which we did. But we just released some boards, a series, and there's just so much drama with people connected to that, where we had to, like, erase his boards and stuff from the site. And it was it was a really whack situation. And for that, like, I don't know what was the right thing to do on our side. It was just a really fucked up position. But he rules.
Yeah.
I love Brandon, but I see why he did that. I mean, people comments just because he wanted to, because he likes working out. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough situation.
It
People
sucks.
just wanted to fucking blame someone for something, man. It sucks that the skate world feels like we all lost people, man.
Yeah, I mean, it sucked because that's one of the reasons why I stopped fucking with Instagram. Like because it was just like it was so evil feeling that I wanted nothing to do with it, and so I didn't open it up until probably sometime like May of last year. From then, because it was just everyone's so mean,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like there's no point. And I was kind of disappointed in skaters, like it's just like skaters are really acting like this right now. I don't know. It just seemed wrong. Like it wasn't just that moment, but it seemed like it was all over the place.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
you don't have to get specific on any numbers, but this, just thinking about your career and literally like, skater of the year 94, now it's 2025. We've heard some crazy numbers of royalties and different paydays at different times in skating. What do you think was like the glory era for like pros just making the most off, whether it was shoes or board sales, or how have you seen the money go up and down over the years, kind of?
I mean, it must have been, I don't know, like it seemed like when I first got on DC, everyone was feeling it. And it's just, yeah, it's hard to say, but I'd say like the mid 2000s, probably, maybe it was then. I
Like 2005 ish, kind of.
maybe, or maybe earlier than that. It was like, but the thing is that you're just hearing it, Like I don't know if anyone on the car was like getting like insane or like was a part of that wave, Like it was decent for sure, but like the D3 kind of
Tony Hawk era.
Yeah. So like, who was it that killed it a lot? What's the rumors?
The one that I remember from last year was Tosh, and didn't he say he was getting like for a bit there he was getting like $20,000 a month on board sales, which to
Him
me
and
was
Bam
like
were going crazy on
crazy.
Element.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. The boards were gnarly. That was like Bam, like when he was at his peak, right?
yeah,
Just MTV money. Yeah, that's sick. That's like so Element was just reaping the benefits probably.
Oh yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that's kind of around when you said too, like early mid 2000s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
It's
like
just crazy because it feels like 20 years ago was like better, but I think it's just because there's probably way less pros now. It's everything's more diluted, so there's probably more money overall, but going to so many people.
yeah. I wonder. It's been interesting to try to figure that out, like what the issue is with just the business, the industry, or just like making a living, I guess to say, off of skateboarding. It's a tough one right now.
Definitely, yeah.
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 I mean, I hear people say it's all these board companies. There's got a company, blah blah blah. But it's like we can't really hate on that. Like everyone's a small company at first. You got to start, you got to try. And I mean, we were a small company and we tried. We're fortunate to make it this far. And so, but
Speaking of companies you've started, sadly, Lakai, as we knew it and grew up with, is no more. What led to the sale, and how did that whole situation go down behind the scenes?
so we hadn't owned Lakai since 2015. I don't really know how to. Um, so we just didn't make any hard decisions back in 2014, 15 with our company overall. So, sorry. You taking a nap? All right. Have a good nap. Good nap. Yeah, I don't know. That shit was whack. It's whack. But I don't really know what to say about it. There are so many details. It would be hard to try to say it now. Right now, it's just like such a harder and longer conversation to have. But yeah, it sucked. What happened. And it's like break up with the girl or get divorced or something. She's just like posting photos of herself, like, and she's wearing your old shirt, or she's like wearing something
What
you gave her.
Yeah. What is it like to see like someone new get on Lakai? Like what?
Like that's the thing, and that's another reason why I don't really want to get into it with not knowing how to talk about or knowing exactly, because that is weird as fuck. But I try to put myself in their shoes, and an opportunity is an opportunity. We just talked about like the industry being like down in the dumps, right? And Jocelyn, he lost his sponsor, right? Like Edney's. Did he get kicked off?
I have no idea.
I think so.
Did he? Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to speak on that, not knowing, but
that's what I heard.
And so if that's an opportunity, that's an opportunity, but it's just like that was our baby, we came up And it was like me, Rick, Andy Mueller. Mueller came up with the logo. I came up with the name. We all three came up with the vibe, and the team. The team is what made it what it is.
Yeah.
What
It's
made
the
it what it
best.
was. So yeah, but no disrespect to the skaters, but it's just, your girlfriend's gonna date again. Your ex-girlfriend's gonna date again. So it's just something you gotta accept. So
Yeah.
sorry, I can't get into any more details.
That's good, man. That's
All good.
great perspective right there.
All right.
Yeah. I thought it was done. So I was like surprised when I saw that, oh no, it was actually sold and there's like a new team. I was like, what the hell? But
Yeah. Yeah.
it's tough.
That
I
was
guess
weird.
best of luck to them, but it's like it's so tough to try and continue something when everyone also knows what happened and it's just
Mhm.
it's never the same.
Not everyone, that's the thing. And it's like, I don't even want to give it air, to tell you the truth, but you know what I mean? So it's like, but not everyone knows it happened. So there's probably people out there still trying to support it on the strength of, what it was. It was involved.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to go on a campaign like trying to let everyone know.
We asked you, not the other way around. So
No, I was just saying, like, there's been moments where I wanted to,
Yeah.
and it's just like, you got to tell yourself, like, can't go on a campaigns, it's not, it's not worth giving them the air or him.
Yeah. No, you had your Insta post. I felt like that was a great post. Got to the express yourself and let it be known. And we can move on. I'll change the subject to something funner and lighter. Your opening line in your Modus part, one of the best lines ever filmed. I'm sure at the time you didn't realize it was going to become like an iconic clip. But what do you remember from that session? Tell us about that one.
First off, thank you. And to everyone who says something positive about it, thank you. I honestly think it is what it is because it accidentally was 15 seconds long, and that's how long an Instagram video was allowed to be. And so it was, I think it caught the right wave. But I appreciate it. It means a lot to see and hear all that. But what I remember was me, Ty Evans. We went up to SF for a few days, if not a week or something like that. And, it was filming for Modus, and he had the lights and the generators, and it was just like, oh shit, let's fucking light up the library. That would be sick, just try to light up some crazy shit. And so we did that, and I was trying a bunch of different lines, like just trying to skate around, figure it out, trying to get a clip at the library. And it took a little bit, but the thing that was the hardest was 180ing up over the rail,
Mm-hmm.
and then having enough speed for the switch big spin. And I think I got a couple switch big spins, but they were just whack, just like you land, maybe stopped or barely or super sketchy. But yeah, that one just happened. That I happened to having a speed, did it decent, did everything decent. I think the kickflip over the rail, like, I don't know. It's just something you just keep doing over and over repetitively, because you're trying the line. And so you start getting like some pretty good muscle memory for a couple tricks. So, and maybe because you're focused on the other tricks coming up, so you just not thinking. So those felt good, like the kickflip and the tray flip. Those two
looked insane, man.
Yeah, that was so, like those two felt good. Like that's what I was. I mean, the whole thing I was stoked, but like those two, I was stoked. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and just having Eric's shoe on, that's what I was really stoked about. Because my costumes are they costume twos or threes? Do you guys know? Do you guys even
I
know
don't
what
remember
shoes I
which
was
one it
wearing?
was.
They were
I
S
think
shoes that I was
twos.
wearing.
Yeah.
Because weren't the threes the ones that look more like basketball shoes?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been the threes.
Oh yeah, it would be twos because I mean, his,
It came
his
out
first
later.
shoe didn't come out that much earlier
Mhm.
than that. So yeah. So my costume twos. Yeah.
Dude, watching that clip back in the viewfinder or whatever you watched it at the time, were you like, damn, I'm going to be talking about this line for 30 years?
No. Because so I think after that we got straight to trying some other stuff.
The
You
two
know.
manual tricks?
Yeah. And the nollie slip, nose willy nollie slip. Those that was hard, and I think I had to go back for that trick.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that one I was also stoked on. I really appreciated getting nollie slip, you know, because I'm not a good manualer, so
Mhm.
I'll take anything I get, you know,
That
and
was pretty
like
good.
I can't do like switch manuals or fakie manuals good, and so it's just like I only got the basic manual, and I call them nose release.
Man, the Modus part was unreal. Some of the most epic like guest clips of Scott and Rick in there as well. One of
Yeah,
the best
thank
parts
you.
of all time.
That was one of my first videos. And I definitely did not know what the switch big spin or hard flip were at the time. Like, it's
Is
definitely
that when you
first year
guys?
of skating.
Is that when did you guys start skating?
I started
years?
because did that come out in 97 or 98?
99. Or
99.
no, it might
Okay.
have come out in 2000. We were filming it in 99. I think it came out in the early, like maybe April or something, May of 2000.
Oh, crazy. That's when I started skating. I think my first board was May of 2000 for my birthday, but I
What,
probably wouldn't have seen the video till a while later, and I still didn't know all the trick names.
what was your first board?
It was a Think board, just a black or a yellow graphic, and just Think in big letters, big flame letters, with some Destructos.
That's
Sick.
fire.
Oh, speaking of Think, the Corey Duffel.
Oh, don't go.
Random skater. I was so stoked because right when you guys or when Dave said Wally Creek, I was just like, Corey, because I knew about that ad drama. I remembered that, and I was just like, oh my god, I fucking know this.
Yeah, no, we were slacking that day. That was embarrassing.
That's about par for the course for me. There was no way I was getting that. Feeble to backsmith ender, and yeah, right, jaw dropper at the time. Take us behind the scenes on that one.
People backtail, dude.
Yeah, backtail. Sorry.
Yeah. I meant to correct that. Sorry about that earlier when you sent me those.
that was my bad.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Okay,
was
Donald,
trying
sorry to
Feeble.
interrupt. Donald was like, Anchorman. What's his name? He's like Ron Burgundy there. He just read
I just
the
read
mistake.
what it said. Yeah.
People
was
to back
that?
tail, man. Come on. He's like Ron Burgundy. You remember in Anchorman when he just reads the teleprompter, but like they know he's gonna read it, or Veronica
You could have written
knows,
anything. Yeah.
knows he's gonna
Yeah.
read it no matter what. So she got him to say some shit and he got fired. That was Donald right there with the backsmith. My bad.
No, you know what's funny is I kind of had just learned those right before the end of that video. And it almost started out as a joke because I was feebling. Like, for some reason, we were skating flat boards. Oh, and we had a flat bar at Girl. And then it just trying long ones. And then, you know, coming out it just was like, oh, I'm gonna just joke around about this, but we flew up there. Me and Ty flew up to Sacramento, and it was right at the end of the video, and people came to the session, and well, not session, just trying a trick.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of hard on that because for that trick you have to have a longer bar, or at least I do. I can't move fast. I talk slow and I skate slow. I move slow. So just yeah, it was kind of hard to get to the back tail quick enough to get a decent slide, instead of just like
Yeah.
yeah. So but yeah, I was so we filmed it on LACC. It's a flat bar in LA. Is you guys who's skating there? Jason Lee did a feeble on it in video days. Are you guys familiar with that?
No.
It's not off top.
Yeah, there's people have had stuff. I feel like Anthony had some, but I filmed it on that. I was stoked to have that, but it was too quick of a back tail, So, and I wanted to get a photo of it, but just the back tail right at the end. Put in an ad and say feeble grind. It's just the back tail still.
Sick. That would be
But
sick.
The frame, because of the sequence, the frame wasn't a good frame.
Donald, correct me if I'm wrong, but the premiere was at Shred Central back in the day. Shout out. And I still remember like everyone lost it when you did that, because I don't think it felt like an MBD for sure at the time. And I remember our friend Cody got the VHS, and it was like the one where you couldn't wait to go watch it again and be like, yo, what the hell? This dude really did a feeble to back tail. It's crazy.
I mean, I remember people being stoked on it, and I was stoked that people thought it was. I think some people had kind of done it before, like maybe at least for Feebleback Smith. I keep thinking like Kenny Anderson. And so, but it felt like it was different enough for that moment, like no one was doing anything like that, and I was just trying to find my own, like, gotta get in where I fit in, man. Got my my feebles. I might as well take advantage of them.
And on a spot like that, like usually if you see like a new trick like that, you'll first see it on like a little flat bar, but you went straight to like the long street spot. Like it was a very memorable clip.
You know what also was hard about it was the curb that the flat bar is on. Like I was hitting my nose like before I ollied. So that was a little complicated. And it made it scary, to tell you the truth, even though it's not scary. It's scary enough flat bar.
In the intro of Yeah Right, you try to feeble this crazy double kink rail in Toronto. It's the one that Eric and Rick skate in Yeah Right, the gap to nose grind. Rick and Costin has the front board nollie flip on flat, board slides through it. I'm just always fascinated by those sessions. So anything you remember, how'd the feeble go, and what was it like watching those dudes do that shit? Because I might be mistaken, but I feel like there's no other Toronto clips in Yeah Right. Like you guys just came and skated the gnarliest spot, and then
something we would see almost all the time.
And I went to school there, so I walked up those stairs like for years, and always just was like, how the fuck did he gap the nose grind that?
So I think Rick also back nose grinds the first rail,
the first one,
line, which is insane.
No, that's a single, and then he does back 5.
Oh, okay.
And I forgot that they do fucking flip tricks like real quick before hitting the gnarliest double king.
Crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly sessions. Like if you're gonna ask me some like what sessions or what I've witnessed, like having references like that to talk about, it's like, yeah, that one was one of the gnarliest because those dudes were going off. And Ty bondoed a lot of the area of the spots. Is can you see where it's been bonded, or did you see where it's been bonded?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just like, yeah, it was nuts. And then, they're doing stuff, and then Eric's board sliding that double kink super easy, and I'm just like, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And it's just like, I got myself to do the backflip down the one rail in Modus. And so like that was this big, big achievement for me, to not be a pussy. Like, you can do something, but you're a fucking pussy. All you think of is what negative can happen. And so, I think that was my one try.
Shit.
Oh,
I think that was my one try. And I feel like I got a gash in my lower back from the rail. And so that's that, dude. It's just like, so I was just trying to like finally just get on, just ollie and just like kind of like lean to the side and just get my stuff on. And then, no, it wasn't like that. It was like more of a, not like leaning to the side, but kind of not getting my truck on, but grinding through it with the truck, but the truck didn't get on. And so it's just, I don't know, when you're expecting a feeble grind and you get into a board slide,
yeah.
those suck.
The worst. Yeah.
I hate that because it feels so sketchy to me. But yeah, that was that. And it was gnarly. I think that with the gap to nose grind might have been the last thing he did. It was just really cool to watch, really cool.
Yeah, that spot, like, it was one of those ones where at the age we were at, like, we would just stand at the top and just stare at it. It was like unfathomable to like gap onto that thing for years, and then now it's long gone. So you guys got the only clips. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Channy 50'd it in a digital.
I think our friend Aiden 50 did at one point too.
No, that he 50'd the 13.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the double kink.
And it's funny, dude.
Yeah.
I think we went back, or not we, but someone went back to take the Bondo out.
some king of the road shit.
I'm pretty sure that happened, unless I'm not remembering correctly, because at least it was talked about. But I'm pretty sure it actually did happen.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
I feel like there's another hubba clip that Eric might have gotten.
Costin. That's what I was about to say.
Avenue Road?
He blunt sled, Brown School. And I don't know if there's no clips, but I'm pretty sure he 180 nose grinded hydro. I don't remember. I don't think it was in right though. You know that? Remember the other huge hubba, just like a little down around the corner from there?
Don't know Ryan Smith did frontside flip nose grind?
I wonder if that was the same trip. And like Heath Kirchart did a kick flip and then 180 nose grind. It's like a 3-stair and then like a 12-stair hubba, big gray one. Oh, Rick did a 3 flip and then tail slide. That was also in right. So I'm tripping. There's a few Toronto clips.
3 flip and tail slide on what? On that hubba?
Yeah,
not the one that Costin blunt slid. The other one.
Not the one Costin blunt slid. It's another one. It's basically similar dimensions, but it's a huge gray one, more downtown. And he 3 flips a 3-stair, and then almost immediately he just like shuffles his feet and tail slides a huge hubba.
I wonder if it must not have been when I was there, or does it look like when we were there?
Hard to say, but
yeah.
You skated all the gnarly. Your squad skated all the gnarliest shit we had to offer at the time.
Yeah. Those dudes were gnarly, or are gnarly, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they fed off each other. They
Yeah,
really
that's what it
fed
seemed
off
like.
each other. Yeah.
Could see it.
Like on some basketball shit, like Stockton to Malone. That's my only reference. I don't know.
Love it.
Staying with the sports for a sec, we heard Rick Howard once kicked a soccer ball at you. What's the story there?
Yeah. So we were in Vancouver, and we just did a demo. We were leaving. I feel like it might have been someone's birthday. Anyway, we were getting in the van. There's a soccer ball. You know, everyone's kicking it around, and next thing I know, I just feel this. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to." And I was just like, and I feel like this is 2017 or 18. You know, we hadn't traveled with like a lot of the dudes a lot yet, you know, and we just hung and traveled, but not like enough. Well, not enough for them to see the way I reacted to him, because I have never reacted like that to him ever. So it made me even more tripped out that like they might think that that's the way I would speak to him, or that's our relationship. And I'm just like, fucking 30 years of that shit. 30 years of this shit. You're fucking always doing dumb shit like that. 30 years. And I was just like, because he's like a bull in a china shop, you know, like he's always doing something and he accidentally hurts you. And it's just always, and he's like, "Oh, sorry. It's like, dude. But that one, it was crazy. My face was stinging for like 15, 20 minutes after that. And because of that, it kept me heated for extra long.
Yeah.
I was just pouting for like probably like an hour and a half or something, just pouting, just not talking to anyone. It was some real crybaby stuff.
That's I feel like that would have been funny / scary to witness if you're one of the like newer guys. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, I think everyone was funny, and Beeble I think was right there and did something. I think he got beer all over him, like the way I fucking like got pissed off. And it was just but everyone was kind of laughing about it later. Later.
Yeah, later.
Yeah, later.
But then, when we celebrated our 30-year anniversary for Girl in 23, we made a shirt and all the stuff like a soccer ball, like in my face. So it said 30 years of this shit.
Oh, sick.
So it worked out. We got to use it.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
So we heard the slappy for your fully flared intro was a hectic situation. What's the story there?
So fully flared, they Taiwan asked to film like some tricks for the intro, and I went to USC and filmed a nose wheelie. I call him nose wheelie nollie flip 180. So front side, and he said, "No, you got to film something a little bit more simpler, you know." Like, and I was all pissed, and I was like, "But I did it, and it's a good trick." And so I wasn't able to think of like some basic trick, just because I don't know why I couldn't. And so I was just like, all right, slappy. And it was just like trying to find a good curve to get a good slappy. I don't know why I couldn't, but I couldn't. And then we found one curve, and I think I was stuck on trying to find one that's going downhill. I don't know why, to like grind a long time or something like that. But one of them, I flipped out and focused my board, and then it was
supposed to be an easy thing.
Yeah, right. And then I think, I don't know if it was that same day we went found another curb, and yeah, that's where we found. So yeah, that was me acting like a little bitch
Oh,
for a slappy.
uh,
I don't know. Yeah, I just make things so complicated for myself.
That's great.
I think I was just a
Focus.
little, sad because that was only 180 slip.
will never be seen. Or was it in something?
I don't know. It might have
Just went to
been.
waste.
No, I think it was either in the credits or maybe like we did a DVD later. It had to have been in there.
Mhm.
I think.
In August 1877, a residents' meeting was called by State Senator George H. Rogers, who advocated for the creation of a free public library in San Francisco. In 2000, Ty Evans filmed one of the best opening lines known to mankind outside this exact library, featuring Mike Carroll. What most people don't know is that none of this would have happened if it weren't for a lost bet that forced Senator George H. Rogers to initiate the building of the public library in the first place. The day before the meeting, George had been out with his old friend, Alan W. Smith. They had known each other since school, but had parted ways soon after graduation. George went on to become a state senator, while Alan became one of the biggest alcohol smugglers in the Bay Area and beyond. In the 1800s, alcohol consumption in the United States was significantly higher than it is today, with an average of about 7 gallons of pure alcohol consumed per adult per year. So needless to say, Alan was a rich man. They had bumped into each other a few days earlier and decided to meet up for some Chinese food and hard cider. Not used to the Chinese food and all the spices, both men went hard on the hard cider, especially George. Alan, an early adopter of the don't get high on your own supply philosophy, held it together, but George was hammered as a nail in a coffin. At one point, he boldly claimed he could pee from one side of the street to the other. Alan, knowing how much cider George had consumed, believed it might actually be possible. But he also loved the idea of a state senator pulling down his pants in the middle of a city in a drunken attempt to pee across the street. So he told George, if he made it, Alan would build a bar in George's name, and he'd go down in history as the fun senator. But if he didn't, George would have to build a library and forever be remembered as the library senator. George, who was actually pretty boring, something he heard his whole entire life, loved the idea of a bar being named after him. Look at me now, he thought to himself. He downed another cider, pulled down his pants, and fired away. A steady and strong pea stream shot out. Anyone watching could see that it was on track to cross the street and beyond, if needed. Everyone except the waiter at the restaurant, who happened to walk out at the exact moment as George pea shot out and immediately hit by George's pea stream like a tsunami on steroids. George, with his eyes closed, an old drunken trick to increase pee pressure, didn't realize what was happening. The waiter, faced with the 3 instinctual options, fight, flight, or freeze, briefly froze, then skipped flight entirely and delivered a perfect roundhouse kick straight to George's face. The impact spun George around like a garden sprinkler. Steady stream or not, George's pee never made it across the street. The very next day, with a steady black eye, George called the meeting that led to San Francisco's first public library, which, over a century later, became the iconic location for Mike Carroll's legendary opening line. And who taught that waiter the roundhouse kick that indirectly shaped skateboarding history? You know who did. CHPO brand, the worldwide leader in sunglasses and watches. Always doing it for the people. Tell us the story about getting denied global entry.
Back in 2001, Rick and I, we all went. We were filming for Yeah Right, and we were filming in Tijuana, and so then we are coming back, and we stopped to get some medication before we went over the border from Tijuana back to the U.S. And then we were passing through. We got searched and caught with pills and stuff like that. So that they sell in Tijuana, and so we got detained and all this crazy stuff. So we were flagged for a super long time, and so we'd get checked every time we'd go through customs when we'd come back from Europe or any other countries. And so I can't remember how recently, but I recently applied for global entry, and they asked if anything. I forget what the question was, and I said no, but it was in regards to something with the border or anything like any problems with any customs or anything like that. And then I said no, and then then they sent me my, like, if I got approved or not. They told me I didn't get approved, and I should be a little bit more honest next time around.
Oh man.
Shit. Shout out Malto. He sent a lot of these. He sent a lot of these things, but he just sent that to me. Malto. He just sent that to me, one sentence, and I just found it so hilarious. I'm like, I don't know if there's a good story here or not, but he just wrote he got denied global entry with a laughing face. Like, that's so random.
It's so funny because we had just, like, on the trip that we were just on, he was in our van, and that story did come up. And so they're fresh in his head.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Can you tell us about the laundromat situation in Europe?
Jerome.
Yeah.
In 1994, we went on a Europe trip. Me, Jerome, Sheffy, Gabriel, Rodriguez, Javante. Did I already say Javante? Rudy Johnson. And one time we were doing laundry at work. People were doing laundry because we ended up at someone's house. And Jerome was doing his, and I was going somewhere, and I asked him if I could put my stuff in with his. He said no. And I held that against him for probably decades now.
Oh my, the way you said it versus the way he told me. I'm not trying to start anything, but it's just, it's so funny. Different perspectives on the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Let me see
what was his
how he said
perspective?
it. Oh my God. Don't be mad at me, Jaron.
Held it against him for decades is awesome.
He said, basically, Mike wanted me to wash his clothes.
Fair.
Well, he went and took a shower at one of his homies' houses, and I wasn't down with that because I wanted to shower and chill at the homie's house. Wasn't sure if it was a hazing moment or not. LOL. So it's just funny that it was like, when you say just throwing it in with someone else's, that sounds so chill. But what he made it sound like, you were like, yo, do
my laundry.
Do my laundry, bitch.
Dude,
I love that.
We were on tour, and I, for some reason, was going somewhere. Yeah, I guess I could have stayed back. I don't remember what it was, but it was like, I didn't take a shower. Well, I mean, maybe
I started something.
Maybe I did take a shower before I left. I have no idea, but I was like leaving the house. So I asked.
Resparking that 94 beef, and you're going to see him tonight, man. You guys got to settle this once and for all.
Bring it up.
Yeah.
Any other hazing stories? Have you guys ever put anyone through some stuff? Some rookies? Put them through the ringer?
I think, I don't know if Jeremy you would consider that being put through the ringer, but we messed with him.
You guys through the ringer.
Yeah, but yeah, he was always a know-it-all, so he was putting us through the ringer, but he was always funny. But just calling him Sherm from, was it American Pie? Stuff like that. He was a funny little shit, so it was just like you can go back and forth with him.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I don't think so. Or at least that I can remember.
Nothing from Malto.
I mean, beer bongs, right? Do you know anything about that? Like, is that
No.
what you're
No.
asking?
And now
Yeah.
we're intrigued.
Yeah. No, we were. I forget what tour we were on, and we stopped off in Casey. And maybe it was his brother's birthday, and then Brad Stabba was traveling with us, and he brought his little beer bong with him, so it was always getting busted out after hours. So, and it's just funny. There's a photo of Sean. He just looks like a little baby. You know, it sounds like hazing or beer bongs. You know, some college shit.
Chill.
Getting the
the
little
good
man
stuff.
turned up. I just,
Mhm.
I feel like, I forget who told us this. Maybe it was Sean. He said Jeremy was the one that would torture the younger guys because he probably went through it a bit when he was the young guy. But Mike Moe and Sean got it from him.
Yeah, I remember him saying that. He's like, everyone messed with me when I first got on, so I'm gonna fuck with you, little guys.
Shit.
It's funny.
So what's next for Mike Carroll? What do you got planned for the future?
Just be a dad, you know. I've been talking to Ted Barrows a lot, and you know, trying to. He was posting a petition to save Embarcadero a month or two back, and so you know, I didn't even know him, and I just hit him up, slid into his DMs, dude, and but no, I just wanted to see if there was anything I could do to be helpful with that, you know.
Sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so we've talked to the skate park project. I think they know what Tony Hawk Foundation is now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just did the Brooklyn Banks. Yasha from Adidas put us in touch with this dude Ben at the skate park project. So it was really cool of him. Hopefully something happens with that, you know, at the city. You know, I think he's just dealing with the city a lot, you know. So I'm helping him with that. I don't know what I'm not doing any heavy lifting, so I'm just talking with him. Sorry. And then I mean nothing's I don't know what would be next because like for decades everything's kind of been the same, just a different year or whatnot, you know. Like I said, probably like just dadding hella hard.
Maybe more trips.
Sure, you know, like I'm not really tripping on making it a point to not be like I was extra effort into not like trying to film anything or like a quick park clip or just like if there's a camera pointing at me, it was just like, no, please. Like no one is trying to see this advanced aged gray haired fat fuck, you know. And I think I've mentioned it earlier, just seeing like dudes, like older dudes skating lately has gotten me stoked, you know. And it's been pretty rad to do that. And so like it feels stupid saying this about myself, but if I could do that, you know, if like someone else is stoking me out, so if that's possible on my end, you know, I'm not gonna be like try so hard to not get filmed. You know what I mean? And just
That's
enjoy it.
epic.
So just
Who are the
wanted
old
that.
dogs that are getting you hyped? Who is it that you're seeing that's making you
Like
want to
seriously, Clyde. Clyde,
Sick.
I
Yeah,
was seriously
sure.
last summer I was hyped on this 50 for 50 shit, and it was just rad watching it. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna be 50 next year. I'm gonna do that. And so that's kind of like when I was starting to get like kind of stoked on. Stoked might be too much of a kind of positive word for Instagram, but yeah, you know, like just watching that, like I was just like, okay, this is sick. And that's when I started kind of like not minding looking at Instagram and watching like following people, like press and follow, you know, and just like not following puppy pages and shit like that, trying to like better be positive and all that shit, you know. So yeah, someone like Clyde, like Kelly Bird, like dude, there's so many. Like it's hard because
Chico.
just yeah, for sure, Chico, you know, Chris Markovich. Um, dude, no, I wasn't ready for that question. So I didn't know. No, I didn't try to. I didn't try to
Surprised you
refresh
there.
my memory, you know, with that. So, but yeah, just like that. But then, like, my body was malfunctioning all last year. So, like, right when I started being super stoked on the quiet thing, like my hip, then I couldn't skate for another like 3 or 4 months. And so, like, finally have had a good window of being able to skate. So it's good. Cool. So yeah, I don't know. Short answer, long.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And just now that my daughter's in school, like I can feel like I didn't go on any trips for years, you know? So um now that she's in school, it's easy now I like and I'm not wanting to take a nap, you know, because I was so tired. Yeah, just feeling like having my life back, and just skating and just stuff like that. I'll do some shoe reviews. I'm just kidding.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna start my YouTube page, start some
Dude,
shoe
you
reviews.
got to, man. That would shock the system for a lot of people, man.
Yeah,
Mike Carroll shoe review.
that would be funny. Yeah, I was joking
I
with
see you
someone about
shredding
that.
in the New Balance.
Yeah, Reynolds, I like that shoe. I like the
Mhm.
A's new shoe. That's what I'm skating in right now. Like that was the first shoe I started skating in when all that
Sick.
happened, and then it's like went from A's to like a Lucas, and then to Tiago's. I like that one. I think is it the 1010.
Just bouncing around, trying them all.
Just
That's
shaking that
wicked.
ass, just hussying it up.
Back to just skating at an older age. I feel like I'm so happy to hear that you're more down to like just have it be seen because speaking for myself, but I'm sure so many people around my age, whether someone's 5, 10, 15, 20 years younger than you, so many people that looked up to you growing up, like it's very nice to see people skating that are older than you because it just lets you know like, yo, that's still possible if I just kind of take care of myself. And like, of course, at some point, you know, you go through your prime and you're past your prime, but it's still awesome to see. And like, I love seeing Chico clips or like Clyde clips, a bunch of those same people that when I was a kid were in all the mags. It's wicked because when we were kids, I feel like for whatever reason, 30 felt like some sort of death sentence in pro skateboarding. And it's great to see people pushing that, whether they're still in their prime or not. So hype to see that, man.
Yeah, man, thank you. I appreciate it. Like it's a trip because ever since we were in our early 20s, maybe we thought like being done with skateboarding was like right around the corner.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you get to your late 20s and then it's just like it's almost, you know, it's right around the corner. It sucks, you know, and then you hit your 30s and then you're in the band with Mike mode. And you're just like, dude, when I start embarrassing you, please, like, don't hesitate to tell us to step the fuck aside, you know? And then it's just, you know, because we didn't have any model for it before, you know? There was Guns or Lance Mountain and a couple other hits, but Tony Hawk, obviously, and didn't have that. And so being able to, I feel like I've heard guys say it too, just be able to be that. It's just to show someone that's younger that it is possible later. But now I'm like stoked on someone that's older showing me, or like my age, just showing me it's possible, you know, and that it's not embarrassing, you know. You know, skaters are all up in their heads. It's like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
so
Oh,
I
for
don't
sure.
gotta tell you guys.
I can feel the heat from here.
Yo, it's Rapid Fire with the Ghost, and this week we're brought to you by the only trucks we ride. It's Thunder, baby. I know we've been telling you for months now about some new shit dropping. Well, they're finally here. That's right, the new Thunder T2s are dropping any day now in your local shop. Thunder's remastered from the base plate up with taller 54mm axle height for less wheel bite, more base plate slide contact for less wheel drag, and fully remastered geometry for more responsive, deeper turns, man. I think I need a pair of them shits. Hit up your local if you're in need. You know Third Layer, Skate Supply, Icon, Premier, World Conspiracy, Contenders, always got the newest goods from Thunder. And Industry, Hammer, 9 Times, Menu, Brightside, got you covered in Canada. Don't forget to tell them the Bunt sent you. We love Deluxe. You dig? Mike, a little rapid fire. How you feeling? You ready?
I can try. I've tried to wrap my head around this possibility.
Favorite skater?
I mean, favorite skater. Like growing up, it was Jason Lee and Jillian Stranger and Matt Hensley and like Gons, you know? I mean, but yeah, and then there's so many. Like when I say those names, I want to say, I don't know how else to, but current day, like Grant Taylor, you know?
Sick.
Just, yeah, it's just, you get tripped out when you see him skating, even like videos and in person.
For sure. Favorite video?
Obviously, I like all of our videos, most of them for sure. And so it'd feel weird not to say that because that's like, especially what I've paid attention to. But there's been like favorite videos growing up, like Video Days, and then Misled Youth. That was a video like after being sponsored and turning pro. That was a video that like got me pretty stuck and sparked and thinking about skating a little just differently and just watching someone different, like because sometimes you're in your little bubble with your friends and working on whatever videos you're working on, that you're not really tripping on anything but what you're doing and what you're around. So Misled Youth was definitely one of them. I was a fan of Ellington. You know,
Who isn't?
yeah. Adrian Lopez. I was stoked on his shit, but even like pretty much everyone, Mumford, Jamie, Baker 3. I was stoked on that video. Baker Has a Death Wish. That was the one, right? That Antoine was in. That he came out slinging.
The Baker 3 and then last part in Baker Has a Death Wish. Baker 3 was his like breakout part.
That was like the one, right?
Oh yeah.
I thought Cherry was pretty sick, you know?
It's true.
Yeah. I thought I was really like that came out of nowhere and
They like shocked everyone that a video could be a little bit different.
Yeah. And
The
everyone
skate purists were like, where's the parts? Where are the titles? What is happening?
Yeah.
But it's funny because everyone we were around everyone been wanting a video like that. You know, had been talking about it and Bill did it, it was rad. So and it was sick to see what that started and created. Stuff for him too.
Back to Baker 3 just for a sec. I remember when we had Justin Eldridge on, we made the connection of like that Antoine Dixon breakout part where he was kind of like a secret if you were outside of California, and then you're just like, holy shit. I remember finding it similar, having Justin Eldridge's part in Yeah Right. Right, that's another moment at the premiere where we were all like jaw dropped, like who the hell and what the fuck, all these switch flip-ins and
Switch flip
nollie
5
heel crooks and switch flip front salad, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that
but that was like
one.
two parts that were like, I don't think I knew who he was before that video came out.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just met him right before that too, because he wasn't like, I wasn't on a lot of sessions with him, before that. So it wasn't like I knew him really good. So, but like, dude, yeah, I didn't know who Antoine was before that video. So, and I was just so stoked on him because, and probably get into the question, but it was just like, wasn't some spray paint pants, and just like, he just looked so sick,
Yeah. We've talked about it, but it's harder and harder to do in the Instagram, like crazy YouTube era where you have like a secret weapon almost, and then the premiere just packs such a heavy punch, like the Justin Eldridge, Antoine Dixon effect. It's hard to do that these days.
Yeah, for sure. Skating and just style and just everything, just refreshing.
Favorite video part?
God, that's such a hard one. There's so many. Okay, Antoine.
That's a sick answer.
Let's
Baker
go. Baker 3. Favorite style?
Jason Lane and Julian Stranger. But the easy one would be Antoine.
Yeah.
Big 3 right there.
Yeah.
Which skater had the biggest influence on the way you skate?
I just used my answer. Jason Lee. Jason Lee and Julian Stranger, for sure. Like the way I skate. For sure.
Sick.
Like I tried to be them. After I saw Video Days, for sure. Like I was stoked on Jason Lee before that, but like that just solidified it. Then Julian, I was stoked on him before that, but like Reason for Living, it was the little part. I don't know. I just had Jason Lee's and Julian's part on repeat like multiple times before I went skating. Like during the filming for when we started Plan B and like filming for Questionable.
Nice. Most talented skateboarder on planet Earth?
Eric Costin and Day One and Grant Taylor and Tony Hawk. But you gotta say Rodney Mullen too, right? But
Hard to leave him off.
just because of technically, but like when you're just saying skateboarding, when you're saying skateboarding, it has to be like Eric and Day One and Grant, because they're just like straight up skateboarders, like yeah, it's like, it's funny just the way Grant skates. I don't know. He just, it's like he lands bails basically, like if he wanted to. No, but that's just one aspect to the greatness.
Can't argue any of those. Favorite trick?
Nollie flip, big flip.
Classic. Can't go wrong.
I want to say tray flip, but they feel so shitty right now.
What's the hardest trick for you?
Everything. It's always been hard. So, but I'll just say switch trays just because I've always wanted to do it. And I mean, I've done them, but I just would never do them to a point where you would actually document it, even though I think there's some accidentally documented because I was really forcing it to work out somehow, but just couldn't.
Damn.
Yeah.
Switch Tray Gang does not have Mike Carroll in it, I guess.
No. I would just like, especially like when I'm skating with Anthony, like, his, yeah, he's probably got the best switch tray. I'm sure there's new ones that people try to argue, but Anthony's got the best. Abe.
Yeah, for sure. Most illegal trick.
Fakie front side flip, because I like having the argument that there is no such thing. Because you need to give Cab his flowers. Like, it's just, if there's a half cab flip, why isn't there a frontside half cab flip? Kind of messed up. Kind of rude.
That's what I called them.
I don't know. People call them fakey frontside flips, and so it doesn't make me mad. And maybe in the beginning, but I just more so had fun, and I don't want to disrespect any other tricks. Like, I'm just trying to be nice and not talk shit about shit. So I just thought yeah.
What's your favorite clip you've ever gotten?
Probably switch. The back lip at the end of Modus.
Oh yeah.
Just because I think I mentioned it before. I'm a pussy, and I knew I could do something like that, and I wanted to, and it just like couldn't, and I just couldn't get myself to, because all I do is think of the negatives, and so I was just super stoked to get that, and it took a lot. I didn't, I think maybe I mentioned it on Nine Club last night. I didn't talk about that clip earlier, right? Yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about it a bit.
Okay. That I took ginkgo biloba or whatever.
No, what's that?
There's some like vitamin or some kind of supplement. It's like, or no, that it wasn't ginkgo
Performance
biloba.
enhancing, dude.
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah,
St.
drug
John's
test you
wort.
before you hit it.
It was St. John's wort, because when we first started filming for Modus, I went with Ty, and he went to go film Anthony and Dill at Wilshire 10, and so I ended up backlipping the Wilshire 10 first try and second try. And so I was just like, holy shit, that's weird. Like, I'm stoked. Like, I was super stoked that I was able to do that. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to do Wilshire 15, and then wait till the end of the video. And I couldn't even get myself to try the backlip on 10, even though I did it first try before. So then ended up like this whole struggle, and then Eric took me to the LACC rail, the one that I backlipped, but that was a process. I wouldn't even touch it because it was too big for me. And I was scared of board slides at the time. So he was board sliding it. It's like just trying to get me stoked, and then I just couldn't get myself to do it, and then went back another time, and just got myself the board slide. I got myself the board slide. It wouldn't ollie the stairs. I think Eric ollied it a couple times, and then went to try to backlip it, pushed up to it probably like 20, 30 times, and would not try. He just kept stopping. And then I was sore for like 3 days after that, just from pushing at it. And so I drank a Red Bull, so I was just like, I'm not gonna do anything like that. So that's why the next time when we went, I took St. John's wort because I think I heard that it was like calming.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, I just like board slid a couple times, and then next thing I know, when I was gonna try to backlip it, I was at the bottom of the stairs, just like, and I had just closed the back lip, and I was just like, holy shit, this is actually, I might actually be able to do this. This is crazy. I can't believe that I just actually did that, like got on it. So it took like probably 3 or 4 tries, and I was stoked. It's like, it was a moment for myself. It's a
That's
personal
epic.
goal.
Dude, perfect form on that backlip, man.
Yeah, thank you.
And it's crazy hearing that from you, like, because just when you're a kid, you don't know. It just humanized you in a way to me, where it's like, okay, that's one of the biggest legends. But then hearing that you go through all the same exact fear shit that like we do with
Yeah.
whales is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
it's
remember.
like we're all human, right? Like now,
Mhm.
like you have a kid, and I don't know if it's helped you understand now. Like we've all been babies. We're all just developed. We're all just human,
Mhm.
you know. And you don't really. Sometimes you forget about that type of stuff. Right? You know, you're just in your own head. That yeah. I don't know, forget. I would stop talking.
Oh, dude, appreciate that story, man. That's a great
Mhm.
one.
Well, thank you.
What's the worst trend you've been a part of?
I don't need small wheels. I think I want to say the goofy boy like trend, baggy, but it was more, but it was mostly small wheels. I don't know if I can talk about it.
How small are we talking? Like, what was
Like
the millimeter
34s,
on those guys? Holy
34,
shit!
36. Yeah, and
What was the like hitting rocks and cracks? Must have been awful, man.
dude, but then you just don't know anything else at that time.
True.
And it's just like because it was like this gradual, and it was like a race to the bottom with everyone just trying to like make it smaller and smaller. Like, oh, they came out with this side, I'm gonna make this even smaller. And it's just like,
Mm.
and I remember when like someone came out with after we went down to like that low, that small, someone put out 42s, and I remember seeing them, and it was like, those look crazy. Like those are way too big, you know?
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
riding now?
Right now they're like 52s. Yeah, they're 52s. I might put on 53s, but
Let's go.
I'm seeing them
52
going
gang.
up, right? Are you guys 52?
Yeah. Boards and wheels are huge right now. I just went to 56, and it's unreal. It's
I
so
mean,
nice.
yeah, it's like for function, like
Yeah.
56, they feel it just almost rolls too good. But then,
Oh, it's
like, you
wicked.
see the way people skate now, it's like, yeah, of course, that makes sense,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
like, I can't do it. I just can't
Yeah,
get,
same.
yeah. How slow or how gradual have you gone from what size to what?
Yeah, I think like when we were like in our late teens, we would do like 49s and 7.5 boards. Like definitely like DGK fans at the time, And now I've gone all the way up to 8.5 and 56. It's been a long, long crawl all the way up there,
Yeah.
but it's glorious now.
Where
So
like,
much board to land on, so much wheel. It's great.
yeah. Like I set up a cruiser the other day, and I think it's 9.5, but like some smaller cruiser wheels, and it just felt so good. Just to like ollie
Yeah.
up curves, and you just so much board under your foot.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Were you at like a 50, lower 50s for a while, or?
Yeah, 52, but then for like the longest time I was riding 54s for like a good chunk of years. And then just like we've been trying to make a video for like the last 10 years, it feels like, but like it's coming to an end now. So I have to like trying to film some things, and I was at a spot that was really rough. last week. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna slap some 56s on there and see how this works out. And then then I set up those soft wheels that Spitfire has. Have you seen those? They're like the 93s where they're like super soft but still slide. Those make a huge difference when you're out in the streets, especially here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Winter's rough on these spots. They just get worse every year. So get those soft wheels makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I would have assumed that. I'm surprised you're not bigger than 52s right now with the way the streets are out there.
Yeah, I haven't changed too much. I went 49s up to 52, 7.5 up to 8.25, and now I'm back to 8.1. I got to be able to flip my board.
I don't worry about that. I'll leave that to you.
Dude, I've been creeping up and just like thinking like, because I kept small boards for a while just because like, yes, flipping the board, but then slowly got bigger, and then I was just like, I'm not doing anything that needs to be that skinny of a board. So I kind of stepped it up. I think it's a little bit either at what's 8.3. That's less. Yeah, that's less than 8.5. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good size. 8.38.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I was trying to go 8.5, but I think, but a cruiser board with 13.75, like 13 3/4 wheelbase is nice. Like a 9-inch, like 9.5, 9-inch. They're fun.
What's the gnarliest trick you've ever witnessed?
I do not know. Like I've like there's so much. Like I've like seen so much. You know, like I was at Eric's like tray flip and that was Bunt. You know,
Oh shit.
I was
the ender heard round the world, man.
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly. Just everything involved in that, like driving up there at night, and just like the talk in the car. It was funny. I forget who I was in the car with, but I was in the car, like sitting in the back seat with Braden, and I've heard an interview with him, and I didn't know him. I hadn't met him yet. I think maybe I'd been around like on some sessions, but that was like the first, like really hanging with him at that moment. And I've heard him tell the story in some interview, and he's just like, "Yeah, man, we were up there with Rick Howard," and just like Rick wasn't there. You know?
Oh shit.
Braden's funny, but yeah, that one was not so much Eric stuff.
Yeah.
McCrank, yeah, like the stuff that you guys mentioned at that college. It was a college, right?
Yeah, university.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, the 3-flip nose blunt. That's all we need. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What's the one trick that got away?
Fully flared, trying switch big spin, switch lip on a rail.
Ooh.
So okay, I should have asked like if I didn't have to get into it because I was trying so hard to find a rail to like a low enough rail to do it on. So I was doing it on like little double-sided curbs at that time, and like it just seemed like I would be able to do it. And I tried it on a few different rails, but it didn't. I really wanted to do it, but like it was too hard to get it up and over. So does that count?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that's
That's a great one.
Cool. I don't think that's still. I still don't think I've seen that. To this day.
yeah. Like at the when we were filming Lotus, I was tried like I filmed switch big spin like board or lit, you know, not all the way over. And when we were done with that, I started trying switch big spin nose blunt slide, and I had gotten into like maybe one or two, and then we got kicked out. And then it kind of like just forgot about that moment. And then Eric got it for fully flared, and then
Yeah, way later.
kind of got sensey about that. Not real sensey, but I was like, oh, yeah, I wanted to try that, but I obviously didn't try to. And then so I got my wheels turning, because he got that pretty early, I think, or he was trying it. But yeah, so that's why I went in that direction.
Damn. So you tried it the same day?
No,
Like-
no. But I did try.
No, I meant like as the Switch Biggie board. Like you
Oh,
tried
for
it that
motos?
same day? Yeah.
Yeah, I tried it that day. Yeah, because I had done
Dude.
it again, like on a double-sided curve. Like just transfer, not
Yeah.
stay in the same side.
Damn, that would have been like too crazy.
It was
if you
more
did
of a
that in
switch.
the Modus era.
Nose blunt, nose slide. No, so I shouldn't claim nose blunt.
So damn, epic.
Yeah.
What's the biggest bunt you've ever witnessed?
One was, I think it was like mid-90s, and we're all at Embarcadero. We hopped in someone's minivan at the time to drive up to Wallenberg. And so right when, I forget who was driving, but right when they stopped, everyone piled out, and then someone was in the van, knowing that we knew. And then they just hopped out of the van, ran into the back of the alley where you start for the big four, and then they just charged and tried switch hard flip. And
How'd that look?
Dude, it was ridiculous. I mean, he didn't even like, he obviously ran out of it. He didn't clear it, but it was just, everyone was, I think a couple people were laughing, and it's funny because within this last year, someone brought it up because I had forgotten about it. And so someone brought it up, and I was just like, holy shit, I forgot about that. I can't believe that. Like, that was so crazy
That's
because
so
he was
good.
serious about it. And no
Oh
one
my
knew
God.
who it was. I don't, like, he was just some, like a little EBB down in Embarcadero, just hopped in. EBB is everybody's buddy, just someone who pretends that, or just tries to like sneak in there, or they pretend they're a friend of a friend, and then your friend thinks it's your friend, so you're just kind of cool with that person. But
EBB with the
Yeah.
switch hard. It's
yeah,
crazy.
but then the
The
other
nameless
one,
bunt.
yeah, the other one was at the after we were finished filming virtual reality, because there's the big three at Embarcadero. I did Molly flip over it. And I did it first try, and so I was pretty stoked on that. And so after we quit Plan B, I was claiming that I was gonna Molly flip the Gons Gap, and because I don't know, I believed that I was gonna do it, and it wasn't like Terneski kind of had this thing like Gons Gap was sick, like thought I couldn't do it, and so I ollied it one day for him just to show him like I can do it. It's just like I told you, I'm a pussy, so that's not this type of. So it's not something I'm really trying to do. And then so anyway, after we quit, ollied it, and then I don't even know if I ollied it that day, but yeah, pushed at it, and I think I tapped my nose, but my board stayed. My board stayed, I think, on top of the ledge that you nollie from. And yeah, so I tried it probably like 3 or 4 times, but my board didn't make it across the gap.
Dang. That would
Yeah.
have been an epic clip too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I was being stupid. I should know better. Yeah,
Love that. What's the last new trick you learned?
dude, I have no idea. I didn't try to take time to figure this out. How to be a dad.
It's a big trick. You never get
Yeah,
can't continue on
yeah,
learning that for a long
yeah.
time.
I guess I should have. Yeah, known that. Yeah, I'm
That's
still
awesome.
learning. I'm trying to learn it. I don't
Love
know.
that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're doing a great job, man.
Oh, thank you, and yourself too.
Dream job after skating.
Just still being in skating and I'll be certified Pilates instructor for the skaters
Oh, sick.
for shoe reviews.
Dude, I need a shoe review, man.
Let's go.
I need it.
Love that. Brandon Turner, big Pilates guy too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I got into it because when I was younger, a girlfriend I had, like from 16 to 21, her mom was a dancer, and when I would get hurt, she would always talk about Pilates. And then I'd like around 2000, I was getting hurt a lot. We weren't going out at the time, and just finally wanted to, like, I started going to a gym and seeing a personal trainer, and then just seeing a bit much. Not saying it is, but at that time, no one, it's just too big and bulky type stuff.
Mhm.
And so, and I would hear about Gons, something about dance and Gons, and it was kind of making sense to me. Like, okay, dancers do Pilates. So I was like, I'm gonna try out Pilates, and yeah, been doing it ever since. So yeah, it started in 2000. I don't think anyone that really did it or did it publicly at the time.
Yeah. I feel like anytime I've seen Lil B asked about like how the hell did you switch, speaking of switch hard flip Wallenberg, because I think he did that at 39, and
Right.
he always credits Pilates for like being able to do crazy shit like that
Yeah.
as he gets older.
Yeah, man. You got to, like, if you love skating and you want to do it for as long as you want, you got to take care of your body.
For sure.
And I mean, I mean, other than it being good for you, it can be helpful for skating, like strength wise,
Mhm.
like pop, all that stuff.
For sure. Favorite local brand?
Thrasher magazine in San Francisco.
That's so dope.
Sick.
Is that qualified?
That's awesome.
Hell yeah. Favorite local skater?
Steve Corona. He lives in LA, I think. Yeah. And Vincent Alvarez.
Sick.
Yeah.
Bunt alum. What's the one sponsor you regret riding for?
I haven't had many sponsors, so there's nothing that I regret. I almost got on a wheel company back in the day that I just for a paycheck, but I didn't do it just because, yeah, I couldn't do it. Pure Wheels.
Fair enough. Which one?
Pure Wheels. A lot of people were sponsored by them just to get a paycheck. I don't know if the wheels were that good, but they definitely helped support a lot of skaters for sure.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
Favorite teammate ever?
Alex Olson and yeah, all of them. Just but that's a hard question to truly answer because
Of course.
everyone, I like everyone, Girl in Chocolate, and like every sponsor that I've had, whether it be DC or like Yeah, Girl in Chocolate. I think I liked everyone. So in current day, Girl in Chocolate, everyone's my favorite skater. I mean, favorite teammate.
Love it. Worst teammate ever.
Worst teammate? I don't have one. Not one that not even one that I could even be funny about and say it, Like, no, like I don't really, there wasn't a worse teammate. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
No
it's all
worries.
good because we always just give the example of like just like a teammate that snores and you're roomed with. Like it can be light. It doesn't have to be harsh in any way.
See, I'm stumped right now.
We can skip it for now, and if something comes to mind,
Yeah.
circle back. We're almost at the end. Worst company.
Pure.
That's a good one.
Worst trend.
Skinny jeans, like tight pants.
They're coming back.
I mean, obviously they're gonna have to because like
We're at the height of our bagginess right now.
Yeah, and what goes up must come down, and I'm gonna be devastated when that happens because it like seriously, it was so hard to find good pants at that time, and it bums me out so much because even like as a company we started making skinny pants, like, and some of the dudes like were stoked on them, and like all of a sudden the pants that I liked got forgotten about, and I'm just like, dude, it was, yeah. And then when I thought I found baggier pants, and I've seen footage lately, and I'm just like, oh, those look so crazy, so tight, and not the good type. Yeah, it's the skinny
No,
pants.
you're right. It's crazy because I don't consider myself someone who ever wore skinny pants, but when the really skinny was the norm or way more normalized in skateboarding, I see clips of myself where I'm like, those look skinny as hell. But at the time, I don't think they would even be considered skinny. They were just, it's just everything was a little skinnier back then, which is weird.
Yeah, just like, why did those dudes have to get stoked on tight pants? It's like, I'm so bummed that they started it, but I mean, yeah, I'm glad that they got at it.
Donald had some borderline skinny
Oh
jeans
yeah,
back in the day.
No, they were not borderline. They were skinny.
Cue the clips. Cue the clips. Let's
They
get
were
Donald
sick,
skinny
dude.
jeans.
Right before we met Mike Will, he was in that,
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was funny.
Love it.
But
Worst style.
like fake style. Like, can you just say fake style, like this a style, or can it be a general style?
No, like preferably a person. You can pick a person with fake style.
Let's come back to it.
All right.
Okay, we're at the last one then. Who's the last person you want on the sesh?
Daniel Wheatley.
Oh no. No,
shit!
He's become a good friend of the pod, man.
Oh,
Kid, you gotta tell us a story. There's gotta be a story here.
I am so glad that I caught his episode before this interview, because I mean, he can tell a good story, like that Greco story. Like, that was an amazing story. I loved it. That was so funny. But then, like, his on getting fired on why, it's like, dude. So yeah, I did fire him. I loved it. But let me just say this. I love Daniel. We're cool. Everything is all good. We are cool.
For sure. Yeah.
But like when he said, like, we were filming for we were at the end of filming for Lakai Video, The Flare. And next thing you know, like he said, he went to Portland, I think he said, to go visit Scott. That's cool. I did say, what are you doing there? And at that time, yeah, there was some team changes or some employees changing. But, and me saying to get home, I do not remember saying that, but it could make sense that I did say that because we are at the end of filming for a video. He is the filmer. And it's at the end of the video. Federico is the filmer too, but Daniel should not be going on vacation. He should be leading by example. He should be out there with everyone. He should be filming. But I'm pretty sure there was a trip before that he went on a Boys of Summer trip at the end in crunch time of a video that he should be with everyone filming. But he's like Instagramming photos of himself in a hot tub with all of his homies on another skate trip. It's like, dude, you are tripping. Maybe I am tripping. But I kind of think that that I just don't think that's right. I just don't. I really don't. And so that's what it's like. One of like, there's been kickoffs or firings, and like they suck. But I had no issue. I had no issue with that. I had no issue.
Damn.
There was cause, man. Cause for termination.
And it wasn't malicious. It definitely wasn't malicious. It's just like you just there just needs to be a little bit of accountability. And if you just do something like that, you're just setting the stage for someone else to think that that's cool to do. And it's like you're kind of a leader in a way, for lack of a better way to say it. And yeah, I don't know. So that's why I don't mind saying. Yeah,
that's a great story.
Because he said I got sensitive about him beating me in a game of skate.
Did he?
Yeah. He did, but I probably got a little sensey. But yeah, but no, he tells a good story though, for sure.
He does. Man, so do you.
Well, thank you, because I'm very insecure about that.
Oh, I wouldn't, man. I wouldn't.
But yeah, so Daniel, like, dude, yeah, when I heard that, I was just so blown away. I love his storytelling.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. So is it cool if I say he has the worst style?
You could give him worst teammate too if you want, man.
Yeah. There we go. Boom.
The trifecta.
Yeah.
Wheelie, he's gonna have a big surprise at the end of this episode, man. He's gonna go through all the stories and think he got through unscathed, and then at the end,
is
it's all gonna the avalanche.
Order? Is this the regular order that it usually goes? Because I didn't realize that was gonna be last.
The very end, yeah.
It's okay, so I'm glad that worked out like that.
Oh my god, I'm so hyped. Wait, let's wrap it up and then we can talk for a minute after.
Dude, Mike, thank you so much for coming on the pod. Truly a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show, man. It's been great spending this time with you.
Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you for sliding up into my DMs. I
That's
appreciate
what we
you
do,
guys,
baby.
Asking me. I was very surprised, and glad I didn't think before I answered, and I just said yes because I was nervous and scared after I said yes, but I'm glad I did it. So good to meet you guys too.
It's been fun, man. You too, man. Can't thank you enough. Hopefully We'll make it down there in the winter. We could kick it, get a session. But yeah, honored, like Donald said. Thanks for ending season 21 for us in style.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome back to the post office, brought to you by our good friends over at Dickey's Skateboarding. Quality workwear since 1922, from the work site to the streets. Ain't nobody keep you fitted like Dickey's, man. All right, Ghost, last post office of the season. Inbox is full. We got a lot of reading to do. Answers are going to be short and sweet. Let's get it popping.
This one seems like it might be right up my alley. All right, from Patrick Hale. Sup, Buntington crew. I have a genius idea. Since LeBron seems to think he knows more than the refs do, why doesn't he become a ref himself so that he can call out all the bullshit he sees? I'm sure you can detect the sarcasm, but I love to hear it when Seifa dogs on LeBron. He has turned me away from the Lakers. I find myself watching a lot of anti-LeBron videos and angry old hoops, etc. Either I'm triggered by watching narcissistic personality types not being held accountable and being enabled, or I'm letting him live rent-free in my head. Anyway, thanks for letting me vent and love the pod. It's cool to hear from guests like Furby, Digby, and anyone who doesn't hold back in the rapid fire. Just not Dane Berman, please. Keep it clever and shout out Cassette Skate Shop, Pat Hale. Okay, no question there. I just, little fellow LeBron hater, and I agree with everything he said. These narcissists always trying to control the narrative. Now he's talking about ring culture ain't that important because it's looking like he's got less and less chance to get one. Dude, everything he does is so calculated. Like, he's old head. He's saying that maybe 40-minute games might be
desperate,
better. Man. Like, he's such a kook, man.
It's a desperation.
Oh, my records. Let's make it 40 minutes now that I'm gonna retire.
I've been a ref before, and that shit is not easy, man. You don't know when to blow the whistle and when to put it away. So, reffing ain't easy, but you know what it is. All right, next up, we've got a voice note from Wayne Petrimo. Let's take a listen, man.
I know Seifa is a South Park fan because there was an episode where he referenced Cartman saying, "How can I reach these kids?" And Donald didn't get it, but I was wondering what you guys thought of how Canadians are portrayed in South Park. And in earlier seasons, Donovan would say Niggy. I was wondering, like,
did I?
When did you revoke his pass, Seifa?
I said that?
Yeah. And like, so first of all, let me just clarify that I never revoked his pass. It's actually just something that we used to say back in the day, like started with my high school friends. And it was dumb. And like, it was just, I mean, the pod started almost 10 years ago. So we've matured a bit, but I never revoked his pass. What actually happened was someone emailed and said they didn't like when I dropped the M-bomb. So I was like, you know what? That's fair enough. I think I've let it slip a few times more recently, but try to keep it off the pod.
Shit, bro, we need to go fucking scrub the fucking evidence, dude. I gotta get back to work once we're done recording this.
But we used to say Niggy, like it was just like our own
completely different
shit.
word.
But that just to get that out of the way. And what was the other thing that was funny?
How Canadians are portrayed in South Park.
Oh, I love it, man. South Park, one of the greatest shows of all time. And it's just classic, like Americans just shitting on Canada. I don't know.
Yeah.
Remember even in a football group chat, like how much we get roasted for being Canadian, like on the weekly by like Costa and Mason and shit. It's just, we're used to it. And South Park does a great job. I love it.
Absolutely.
I don't remember saying, how can I reach these kids, though? I wonder what the context was. Thanks for the voice note. Next up, this one's crazy. This guy's going anonymous, and he, I think, created an email. He created an email. Seifa Navin. It's kind of a hard one. Seifa Navin, right? Connecting both of our names at gmail.com. Seifonovan. Yeah.
I just saw how many paragraphs it was, and I was like, oh, man, hope this don't land on me.
Seifonovan at gmail.com. All right. Hey guys, enjoying season 21. I've been having a thought floating around in my head for a little while now. It seems that, to me, that career-defining video parts come out less frequently than they did in the past. Don't get me wrong, there is no shortage of amazing video parts coming out, and of course, career-defining parts will be the definition, and of course, career-defining parts will, by definition, be less common, but I almost feel like there are a lot of skaters that don't really have a career-defining part, even though they put out a lot of great parts. I feel like every skater should have a part that they consider to be their magnum opus. Beyond that, there are a select few skaters, the best of the best, that I would like to see their version of what Andrew Reynolds did in Stay Gold. I know that's a lot to ask, but selfishly, I want to see it. Two skaters I have in mind are Jamie Foy and Chris Jocelyn. Both are incredible at the type of skating they do, and they're in their primes. More importantly, they're both capable of it. They're among the best to do it, even if they never put out another part. But if we get a Jamie Foy or Chris Jocelyn Stay Gold, that would be incredible. Anyway, I'm curious to hear your opinions on all of this. And lastly, are there any parts in recent years that you would consider career-defining? Two that come to mind for me are Mark Suciu's Verso part and Gabriel Summers' No White Flag part. That's not to say they can't one-up themselves if they wanted to, but for me, those feel like career-defining video parts, skating, music, editing, etc. Thanks for reading, and sorry for the novel.
Why do you have to go anonymous there?
I don't know why that was anonymous, bro.
That was a great email.
Put your name on it, blood.
Yeah, you deserve respect for that email, you know? And shout out Gabriel Summers. Made a big career move, leaving Zero, going over to Thames, whatever you call it, Blondie's company. Great look. Happy for him. Just while listening to this, two parts came to mind. Curran's part, not the new one, the previous one, the previous Vans one. I love the new one, but like that one, the first one was more out of like left field, like holy fuck, like he's arrived. And then one of my favorite parts of all time, Nigel Houston and Need That. That's about as career defining as it gets right there.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I also think that, like you said, it's just because there's so much shit coming out that it's so much harder to have a part stick. Yeah. But that current part, I 100% agree with. I think Greg Hunt edited that, and he did a tremendous job. I think these days you really gotta have more than ever, like the song and edit need to just stand out. Like everything needs to be a perfect blend. Because there's so much more shit coming out that if you have like a forgettable song, that shit's forgotten within the same week. But what did he want? He wanted
a career-defining part, recent one.
Fuck, that's tough, man. I mean, it was really sick to see Carlos Ribeiro have last part in the Primitive video, but I feel like he could.
I feel like he's got more.
Yeah,
he's got more to give.
But you know what? The Jamie Foy one's really interesting, and Chris Jocelyn, because they've both had parts that are so insane. And no disrespect to the edits and shit, but I feel like Jamie Foy's New Balance part could have been that one, but to me. I didn't like either of those videos. It didn't have the rewatchability for me.
I didn't like the skating, but you know, it didn't have that impact of you're like watching it, and if it's career defining, you're like, something's happening here, you know?
The tricks were there though.
Yeah, but the tricks are there in every part from everybody. Like it needs something more.
But I actually liked his newer part more. I forget what the song was, but that one felt like more rewatchable. And then Chris Jocelyn had his insane part. I think it was the Plan B video that he ended, but again, it didn't have the edit and the song, and it wasn't right. So as much as like the hammers were there, I feel they could have like a more memorable part. I don't know who else needs
like a Dylan Reeder and Gravis. That's defining.
That's the one.
I'm waiting for a Jake Anderson one, man.
Yeah, real shit.
I think he's got a lot to give.
What would you say is Ashad's one?
I don't know. I don't think he's had it. He's had like so many good ones, but like there's not the one that sticks out above the rest.
Because they're all so good. But
but it's like same thing. Like, what would you say was Costin's?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, probably. But like you could make it like Manic Matty was insane too.
Yeah.
Or like Appleyard.
Yeah, Appleyard. People would probably say really sorry.
Oh,
because he had last part. But to me, I like the sorry part.
I like sorry better. Yeah.
A shot, I would say the Chronicles part.
Mm-hmm.
Gap kickback lip at the end, switch front blunt clipper and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, we gotta keep it moving. We got too many. Too many.
Great
emails.
Great email.
Yeah. Put your fucking name on that shit, man. Come on, that was a great email. All right, next up, we've got an email and voice note from Mason Graham. Love the skate pods, the history, the rapid fire. Was grateful as fuck when I found out about you guys and could keep a Canadian. Got a park in my small buttfuck town 2 years ago. We handed out boards to the scooter kids, and now they're all better than us. Much love from Barhead. And let's take a listen.
What's up, Bunt gang? Fucking keeping it real out there, I hope. Fucking, I'm dying out here, northern Alberta, 30 fucking degrees. Ginger can't handle that shit, you know, but I just thought I'd hit the post office, you know. Fucking long time listener here, Canada all the way. Love Chris Roberts, but fuck the 9 Club. And I think it was his, like, illegal trick. I just wanted to weigh in here. Edmonton, man, north of Edmonton, we all fucking... Boneless to tail is fucking rad. And, you know, I just recently got a skate park after we waited 25 fucking years for one in my little town. All these scoot kids came up, and we weren't having that. We fucking handed out our extra boards and shit, and now all these fucking grade 10 kids are better than us. We're pushing 30, and it's like, holy fuck, where was this when we were kids? Would have been a lot better. But anywho, what I'm saying is anytime I bust out a fucking any sort of hand flip with the board or a boneless to tail, all the youngins are like, what the fuck was that, Mace? So, just saying, illegal trick. That one's fucking... debatable. Anyway, hope you guys have a great summer. Oilers all the way. Adios.
Sorry about your Oilers, kid. Is that what Chris Roberts said? Was
you think he was trying to be funny? With like, you think he was putting on like a
Canadian accent? I don't know.
That was the shit you see on TV when they're like trying to be funny.
Hoosers? Yeah. So Chris Roberts said that boneless to tail was illegal. Now, is that what we're getting at?
Well, I don't understand the sentiment. How could you say I love Chris Roberts but fuck the 9 Club? That just doesn't add up. Shout out the 9 Club.
Yeah, shout out the 9 Club, man. Boneless to tail. It's not illegal, but it's not like in the realm of being called legal or illegal, you know? It's just like this other entity.
Pretty illegal. Bro, I swear you came out on wax and like shit all over that shit.
No. For the record.
You met the homie and now you're switching it too, man.
No. I just didn't understand how someone goes skating and doesn't ever pop their board. That's all it was, bro. But boneless to tail. Yeah, you don't catch me doing them.
Yeah, I don't want to see none of that shit, man. Come on. Do you though? But
do you?
Let's
keep going.
Shit's do you. All right. Thanks for the voice note. All right. Next up, we got one from Christopher Tobin, Post Office of Pain. Yo, what's up, Bunt Gang? Voice memo for the post office. Just got back from skating Barcelona and I'm super sparked on skate right now. And it got my mind on the good old days. As always, keep up the good work and much love from Montreux.
Yo, what's up, Bunt Gang? Chris Tobin coming at you again from Montreux, Switzerland. Had a question for you guys, something I've just been thinking about lately. Do you guys have any favorite board graphics that at the time you didn't really realize how sick they were and you wish you would have saved it for like a wall hanger or something? For me, I think back to an old local company based out of Windsor, Ontario. Shout out Change Skateboards. They had a bunch of dope graphics, had a bunch of their boards, and just never thought to save one of them. But was curious if you guys had one, either that you had or always had your eye on but could never find. Yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. Keep it up.
Man, I'm sorry, homie. I'm not a board graphics person. I don't.
Nah, I got a fucking board graphic right here that I'm
anything about that.
I'm fucking with and I'm saving. Can I show you?
Yeah.
It's fucking hard. This is the homie. The homie loves getting a little love from the boys, Ryan Townley, baby.
Oh shit!
Nice welcome board, Townley. That shit's going up on the wall. I'm moving this summer, so I'm gonna have a new studio. Maybe Townley. And get this one back up there, man. Let's go. That's my favorite board graphic right now. You dig?
Let's go. Townley, big ups. The only time I remember nerding out on graphics was when I first started skating, and I'd always go on the World Industries site. So any of those fucking wet willy things, all that
this
shit.
This one too. Nicole House, twin nose.
That one.
Fuck about twin nose. Fuck the tails, man. We need the fucking shovel on both sides, baby. Real skateboards as well. Deluxe, Jim,
should I
Tim,
grab some
all
boards
the
from my
fucking
closet?
homies.
Should I grab some boards out my closet too? I got some homies boards.
Let's keep it moving. We're running out of time. All right. Next up, we've got an email from Ralph. Dear Bunt Boys, simple question. How's your day going? With that out of the way, what I really wanted to say was thank you for delivering top quality content this season. It always feels like these seasons come and go so fast. Thankfully, there's a massive back catalog to keep the barn burning in the off season. Enjoy your summer and be back soon. That's just a fucking good listener right there. Ralph, man, we feel the same. Yeah, I can't believe we're almost done here again, bro.
Yeah, I love the how's your day going? And now that that's out of the way, day's going great. And yeah, the shit does go by too quick. Oh, that was it. It was just how's your day? Was the only question.
That's it. Yeah, the day, it's early here, Sunday morning, so we're just getting warmed up, baby. We had to chef up the post office early so we can enjoy Game 7 later.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I went to the farmer's market, had a popsicle and a waffle. And Kevin Durant, breaking news, just got traded to the Rockets. So the day's great so far.
The day's young.
Thank you, sir. All right, next up, we got an email from George Clark, Blue Collar Post Office. What's good, Bunt Boys? Hope I can make it on the last episode of the season. I've been procrastinating to send this in. Pretty sure I've heard Donald mention being a blue collar man in previous episodes. I've recently made... he got called something else.
Oh, bro.
I've recently made the switch from working an office job to a blue collar job working construction on gas mains. I love the switch, and I don't think I'll ever look back, but the work-skate balance has been the hardest adjustment. I don't skate as much anymore between long hours and the physically demanding job. Plus, in the back of my mind, I'm nervous of getting hurt because I have a history of broken bones. With the office job, I could hobble in with crutches and keep doing my thing and work while I heal up. How do you manage working a blue-collar job and skating?
Blue collar, I work a 9 to 5. Mostly it's like a 6 to 2, but yeah, and electrical. But the story Save was alluding to, I went to a stand-up comedy show in Bowmanville, Ontario, which is the fucking past the suburbs. It's like, I don't even know where. It took a long time to fucking get there from the city. That's for sure. And the comedian looks me dead in the eyes and is like, "You look like a redneck. You must be a redneck." And I was like, I'm probably the only one from the city here. You know what I mean? So I think like she confused redneck with hipster because I had a camo hat on and my hair's a bit long. So, but I wasn't arguing. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Chirp me for being a redneck. But yeah, got a kick out of that. How do I manage? I find that you need to skate right after work. Like if you go home, and settle into like making something to eat and chilling for a bit, you're not getting back up and going out. You need to keep that board on you in the truck, wherever the fuck you do it. And just get a little session in after work. Most construction guys get out a little bit early, so still nice out. That's the trick, if there is a trick.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking don't slack, brother. George.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Keep the session alive.
All right, next up, we've got an email from Anthony Perina. Let's take a listen.
What up, Safa? What up, Dono? I just wanted to try to call in to the pod. Done it a few times. The other times I've definitely asked questions, but this time I'm not really looking to ask a question. I'm just here to tell y'all thank you for making my Wednesdays awesome with all these interviews over the last years. I think I've been listening to y'all for 3 or 4 years now. And every single Wednesday, it's like the treat of the week. Be able to hear some new shit from y'all at the Bunt. Shout out fucking Antoine. Shout out everybody who puts their work in to get that shit out and they get it done. Yeah. Thank y'all. I'm thankful for skateboarding. Fucking, let's get this shit 2026. Fun things forever.
Yes, sir. Let's fucking get this shit. Shout out Anthony. Thank you for the nice voice note, man. It means a lot. We do it for the people, and it's nice to hear an email like that.
Yeah, that was awesome, Anthony. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you. And definitely appreciate everyone that helps us behind the scenes. Couldn't ask for a better group of people that we work with.
Dude, so, it's ever expanding. We had a nice business dinner a couple weeks ago with an old friend of ours that we're very excited to be working with on a Bunt venture, but something outside of the pod. And out of nowhere at the dinner table, Safa just puffed his chest up and reached his hand out and said, "Welcome to the team." And it killed me. And the other homie, he didn't know what to make of it, but that was awesome, bro. Those are the moments I'll never forget.
Laughed. I mean, yeah. I almost made Donald spit out his water. But in my defense, even as the words were coming out of my mouth, I was like, what the fuck am I saying? It's not that serious. But I was just so genuinely hyped.
Yeah, we are so happy to work with Zank, the legend.
Yeah. And,
welcome to the team.
Happy everything went well with the procedure, my guy.
Woo!
Okay, welcome to the team, brother.
All right, we're on the home stretch here. 3 more.
Yeah. We got an email from Keith Simmons. Let's see what the mandem's saying, man. Voice note.
What up, boys? Keith here. Fan since day one. As you already know, listen to every single episode. Never missed one. Shout out to Ants1 and Jay Bros behind the scenes. Congrats to a incredible season once again. Last week, you guys got an email asking what your pro graphic would maybe look like if you were asked to go pro. Safa kind of chuckled if all 3 of his ideas were mashed up together. I decided to throw those into ChatGPT and see what came out. So I attached the photo in the email that I sent to you. Hopefully you guys get a little laugh out of that. Either way, shout out to Beamer Beer, and I'll see you guys all soon. Peace.
Hell yes, right. So I'm scared to look. He said,
dude,
you gotta listen to the voice note, then first, and then scroll down for the reaction. All right, let's see. Oh my god,
bro, it's fire.
Fuck? That's crazy.
Actually, you could sell some of those.
Yo, Vegeta in cheetah form as a basketball player.
It's fucking Vegeta, man.
Vegeta, that is insane. Thanks for the laugh, Steezo. And he said see you soon. I saw him yesterday. I guess we should make these, Donald. Let's get your mashup. What's your 3 things?
I forget what mine was. I thought it was a
I don't
Baker
think you like put them out. You didn't do it like me. I just said 3 things I like because I had no idea. But if you had to just pick 3 things like for a mashup.
I think my choice was just to have a Baker board, like Jones or some shit like that.
I don't know, but I'm saying
basic.
A new thing. Just pick 3 things that you enjoy for
all right,
AI to mash up.
Yeah. What do I fucking like, dude? Beers. Fucking beers. Blue collar beers. What's the last one? And a company. Baker. We'll smash that in there.
Okay, random. I thought you were gonna say hockey, and then you could get like, I said basketball.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z and Vegeta.
The problem is like
Cheetahs.
hockey's so like cheesy to Canada that I don't like those like corny Canadian graphics. You know.
True.
Okay. Keitho, legend, killed it. Shout out to Beamer Beer. Is right. All right, next up, we've got an email from Levi from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yo, great season, D Jones, Ghost, and crew. Thanks as always for the pod. Anyways, holy shit, Safa. I've thought about writing in to ask you guys your most embarrassing sports moment before, and it turns out ours are so similar. Mine was much lower stakes, but high school game, fouled on a 3 at the halftime buzzer. Ref clears everyone else off the court, to my surprise, in the largest gym we've ever played in up until that point, no less, and I miss all 3. Wasn't a championship game or anything, but I feel confident saying I was the best free throw shooter on the team. Shit still haunts me 20 years later. Even the coach clowned me during half. Dickhead. Quick question for you guys since I'm here. Is there any type of spot you're not hyped on seeing pop up in a video? For example, I'm just not into people propping up grates to bump to things the vast majority of the time. I know it's not illegal. It just feels a bit too constructed to me for street skating. What the hell do I know, though? Thanks again. Great off season. Hope you both can chip away at those bunt video parts. Shouts to my boys, Ryan and Jeremy. I know they're here listening to this. Levi from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Once again. Whew, 0 for 3 from the line. Fuck, if I was a coach, I'd chirp you too, man.
Yeah, I feel like not to say yours wasn't devastating, but at least it was halftime, so you still had time to make up for it. Or the chirp is hopefully to get more out of you in the second half. For me, it was just that was game, baby. But nonetheless, we share that same haunting memory.
Dude, I have an embarrassing sports story, not about me, but about a good friend of the show, Everett McLean. Want me to share? So a few years ago, we played in a beer league where if it was tied, we would get a shootout. Cool way to end it, because usually like men's league stuff will just end in a tie. So, but this league was like, no, we'll do a 3-person shootout. So it was wicked. We would pick the best shooters to shoot. Obviously, like it's not like we're playing the best players more during the game or anything like that. But when it came to the shootout, it's like, okay, let's just let the 3 best guys shoot every time. We'll have a better chance to win, and let's get out of here. Cody would shoot every time because he was nails. I think Simon would shoot, and then the 3rd person rotated. And Evie was like, I'm fucking shooting this time. And I was like, don't think you're shooting. You know what I mean? Like, there's a long list before we get to you, Evie. But no, he pushed and pushed and pushed. So Evie gets his shot. Goes in.
Wait, hold on. Was he first to go? Or what
yeah, he was first because we needed to have a buffer afterwards, right? This guy stick-handled so much, loses the puck into the corner, doesn't even get a fucking shot off. Stressed himself out so goddamn much.
Heavy.
And then afterwards, in the parking lot, he dares to say, he's like, I'm getting another chance. He's like, I'm getting another chance. Like, I'm not going down like that, you know?
Oh, shit.
Just a quick funny one. I gotta tell someone.
Evie, that's
and if you know
respect,
Evie,
bud.
that's Evie to a T. You know what I mean?
If no one's gonna be confident in you, don't you know what I'm saying? You gotta be confident in yourself.
Yep.
I
He
respect
is.
it.
So, type of spot you don't like seeing pop up in videos.
I don't mind the pop-up things, man.
That's kind of sick. Like,
yeah. Especially when it's like a natural like planner thing and you just throw a board under there.
Exactly.
Like that one, I think you mentioned it within the last couple of weeks. That one downtown where they'd skate over the
pole
or whatever. Or was it a pole? Like the one Bobby backheeled. I thought it was like a orange.
Oh, that was a
cone.
big ass one. Yeah. That was just a great that they would bring things to skate over.
Yeah.
No, why not? I like those things. Shit, this is hard, man. A spot that I don't like seeing. It's interesting. I don't know if I have one, man.
Yeah, not off the top. I feel like it's like when you're watching a part and you see it. How about this? I don't like I don't mind all of them, but just anytime you're just comboing, like a Manny to grind to Manny again, like any type of shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except for Tom Morrison. What was his?
Crook Manny kickflip.
Crook's Manny kickflip with the helmet on and the self props.
Oh, that's awesome. Fuck, man. I mean, I would say a skate park, but that's pretty bland, you know? I don't think I have one.
Yeah. I'm sure we have them, but it's like you got to be watching a part. Sometimes it's hard to think of this shit on the fly. Was that our second last one of the season?
Yeah, we have one more here.
Okay. Last email of the season. Response and question. Bunt Boys, thanks for the great response to my Jaws double jointed point. Donald nailed it with the Miles Silvas comparison. With this NBA season or NBA off season coming, there's rumors LeBron is going to leave LA. Seifa, how would you feel if LeBron signed with Toronto? Well, I mean that's completely unrealistic, but we'll go with your hypothetical here. I think I would have to just not root for the Raptors for a year, which would be crazy, but it'd just be so weird. I just can't. It's so unfathomable that it's hard to think of how I would react.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would just cheer for him because I'm a Toronto fan. Wouldn't make me happy, but can I show you something that does make me happy?
Yeah.
This right here is a photo of Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid linking up for dinner. Not exactly sure what they're talking about, but you know, if
wait. Why does that make you happy? Because what if
Jesus ends up in Toronto?
What if it's the other way around though?
Because no, Matthews is locked in. We just signed him last year. McDavid, he's coming to the end. That's it right there, baby. That's the future of the NHL.
Leafs Nation starting their delusions early.
Why wouldn't we? Season's over. Season's over, baby.
You're like a Cowboys fan talking yourself into George Pickens, the savior.
What's wrong with George Pickens?
One last thing I wanted to say about the post office, because I know some of y'all avid post office listeners were expecting. We always get an email from Black TJ to end every season. You know, it's tradition. And he did send in an amazing voice note, 3 minutes long.
You could summarize it and we could answer the question, right?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
But basically, there's some. We're gonna talk to him offline. He didn't do anything disrespectful to us. It's all love. But he came at someone that he doesn't know that we also know, so we didn't want to air it and hurt any feelings. But Black TJ, that was fucking hilarious, and I will
had me in
reach out to
stitches, dude. You know, when tears were forming of laughter.
No, let's not even summarize it because it could be sniffed out. Like
it could
but
be.
I just want to say shout out to Black TJ because he did attempt to do his annual, or not annual, but every season send off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we miss you, G.
All right, that's going to wrap up the last edition of the post office for this season. But now that these old heads know how to work a YouTube live. Shall we promise 1 or maybe even 2
Bro,
live post offices?
I'd like to go fucking weekly, man.
Oh, Zayford can't get enough of this shit, man. Yeah, let's go. We'll sort it out, man. But we're not going away for that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see us. You'll see these old heads kicking, man. And as usual, get your emails, voice notes. And if you're an old head filming clips still, get your old clips into the buntlive@gmail.com, man.
Yeah, we'll do at least one off-season post office, but we'll go live sometimes, maybe some video part reviews.
Maybe get a guest on there.
Yeah, the usual. Actually, not the usual because we never do it. Some new.
Welcome back to the Rundown, the Skateboard World source for sports. We timed this shit perfectly from episode 1 to episode 12 to see the beginning through to the end of the Stanley Cup and NBA playoffs. It's over now, man. It was great throughout. Beginning was great. Middle was great. Get all the matchups we wanted to see. And then in the end, the Oilers didn't put up as much of a fight as we would have liked. The NBA went to 7 games, but was kind of anticlimactic. Is that the word? At the end there. But we have our champions, the Florida Panthers and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Where do you want to start? It's just bummers all around for me, man.
Yeah, you ended up... Well, you chose OKC, but you kind of... you start to cheer for the underdog. The further along they get...
for the Pacers. The Thunder were just frustrating me with getting in their own way, beating themselves. That Game 6 was painful to watch, but yeah. Where do you want to go?
So you
NHL
think they should have
first?
We'll just continue on in the NBA. So you think they should have just made quicker work of Indiana?
Well, they let go of the rope in Game 1. That was one of the worst losses you'll see. And they already done that to Denver at home in Game 1 of that series. So how do you let that happen again? The thing that frustrated me with the Thunder is like they would go through a shitty experience, like letting go of Game 1 against Denver, and not learn from it. And the biggest thing, every time I feel like we're talking about them, the thing that frustrates me the most with OKC is their lack of passing. And then they lose a game with low assist numbers, and then the next game they have 23 assists and they kill a team. So why do you go back to not passing the ball? They could have lost the championship. Game 4 was the biggest game, I feel like.
They still could have lost last night. There were points where it was close.
Yeah, that was inevitable. But at 2-1, they somehow win a game with 3 threes and fucking 10 assists for the whole game. That's just not a success. That's not a recipe for success. And Game 6 was just a disgrace. They started all playing ISO ball again. Got Aaron Wiggins fucking dribbling the ball, double spinning into the lane. That's not your game. Like, pass the fucking ball. I just felt like I was screaming that at the TV way too much in this playoff run.
Yeah, but it seems like when they go down, they get into that more, not passing even more, which becomes their downfall. I didn't understand why they went away from Siakam more. I would have been feeding Siakam the ball all Game 7, man.
Yeah, that was very, very strange. But I don't know. It's like McConnell had that magical third, and then Mathurin. I don't want to call it magical because it was mostly free throws.
It was pretty beastly, though.
But it was beast. But yeah, it felt like only 2 players scored for a 17-minute stretch. I'm sure there was a couple other buckets, but very strange game. But yeah, no, I'm still very happy for the Thunder. It's just weird. Like, where do they go from here? Where it's like they have these bad habits, but they were still rewarded with the championship. I'd like to see them still smooth that out. And one thing that also annoyed the hell out of me was Shea, when they're up 20. Like, I just felt like he was forcing it so hard, and he single-handedly let them. They didn't get back into the game really, but he let them get back into the game. Dude, he would just not pass. and he had 25 points. And I know how like a player's mind works. If he didn't score again, he was going to average 29 points per game. This is just speculation. He needed a bucket or two more to have a 30-point per game clean average in the finals. And he just kept forcing up the worst shots. And his field, I think he ended up 8 for 27. But he made it way worse in the fourth. He was probably like 1 for fucking 10 in the fourth. I don't know. I'm making
But he had
up,
a high assist rate in that last game.
And that was the beautiful thing to see. For 3 quarters, he
but
played
it
so
seems
well.
like they do that at the end of the game. Like, there's 2 guys shooting at the end of the game for OKC.
Yeah, but
it's one or the other.
That's the thing. It's like they got rewarded with the championship despite some bad habits that were very frustrating to watch. That said, I'm still so happy. Like Hamilton, Montreal.
Sound like it.
No. I am. Like when I reflect on this and whenever, I'll be like, yo, the fucking Thunder. Like I'm just hyped.
Dude, the key plays in the fourth quarter were made by Lou Dort. When shit started getting a little haywire and they needed a steal or a possession, an offensive rebound, Lou Dort showed up at the end, man.
But you know what? Like, even though there was some little, not little, but they did make a run. The thing is, all these times where there's huge comebacks, like the Neesmith game against the Knicks, it's like Halliburton still finished all of those comebacks. So in my head, there was zero stress when they're up 20. It's like, all right, it's over, even though they cut it to 10 or 9 or whatever. It was still a wrap. You don't have that one dude that if you get it to one possession, like who would that have been? I don't think anyone else could have done that. Nah,
dude.
Like
I hope TJ McConnell's a free agent because he just made himself a fortune.
No, he actually got a decent contract. But if he was a free agent, some dumb team would have fucking offered him like $30 million a year.
Oh yeah, and he should take it. Sticking with the NBA, Kevin Durant on his way.
But yeah, last thing about the finals, hats off to the Pacers. Like, I feel like it's sad that they lost, and I know obviously they're probably hurting right now, but I think the entire NBA world just put a lot more respect on all their names, and they should be proud of their season. And it's just, we didn't even talk about Halliburton, but
where do they go from here?
That was the saddest thing I've ever seen.
Halliburton's going to be out for a year.
They're cooked now, obviously, for next year. Yep. I mean, they could make the playoffs because the East is so weak, but it's just that took the air out of everything. And he was 3 for 4 from 3, talking shit, 2 deep ass threes. Like, it really felt like we're about to have a barn burner. And I know you can't ask someone like that to not play, but in my head, in Game 6, I was like, don't play, man. Like, we've seen what happened to KD.
There was literally zero chance of him not playing.
I know.
I don't even like the speculation or the like talk. Like, yeah, there's hindsight looking back, but there was zero chance he was not going to play in Game 7 of the finals.
No, I fully get that. It's just I'm just hurt for him, and the way
this was inevitable.
You knew it instantly. It's fucking third Achilles to his fucking star in the same playoffs.
I think they said there was like 8 total in the NBA this season. And the most before that was 5. So
I don't know what the hell's going on, man.
Yeah.
But get well soon. Pacers, hats off to y'all.
But sorry, I led into KD, but I have one more Indiana tidbit. Indiana is full of superstars like Tyrese, Caitlin Clark. But in actual reality, there's one superstar in Indiana these days. Sophie Cunningham is actually taking over Indiana, man. Thoughts on Sophie?
I mean,
the true total package.
I just familiarized myself with her after her viral moment the other day. And I smashed follow a day after she threw homegirl on the ground, being an enforcer for Caitlin Clark. And I think she had 500,000 followers at the time, and I was 12 hours late, so who knows what she had right when she threw her on the ground, but she's up to like 900,000 or eight something, like close to 900,000 followers. So it's actually, the Caitlin Clark effect is insane. Just being around her.
Yep.
Like, think about how she just made herself so much money by doing that.
She's locked in.
The endorsements and all the Instagram collabs and shit.
I just want to bring up her stats for the season real quick. I hope that she's a baller as well.
I don't know.
You know?
I think she's a 3-point specialist, enforcer. You know what I'm saying? And
dude, the
fine as hell,
enforcer is
but
honestly
so
unreal.
myself.
Let's see what she's averaging.
Bro, we gotta look into WNBA season tickets, man. I hope they're not super expensive. That'd be so fun. Toronto's getting a team next year, the Toronto Tempo, and I can't wait. Yeah. You want to go see Sophie, not Caitlin? Eh?
No, we don't need Caitlin.
Nah, dude.
She's averaging about 6 points a game on 22 minutes. Only played 8 games so far this year. Best year was 2022 when she averaged 12.6 on 30 minutes. So, you know, role player, but she's killing it. Sophie Cunningham, the newest star of the WNBA and the Toronto Tempo.
You throw that term around real lightly, and respect to Halliburton. I still don't consider him a superstar. And Sophie Cunningham definitely ain't a star.
Oh, in the WNBA she is. Name 15 people in the WNBA. Go.
Well, yeah, no.
Go on.
I don't think 10. I have 15. I might 10? Have 10. I might have 10.
Let's hear it, bro.
You actually want to go? Yo. All right. Asia Wilson.
Yep.
Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark. Brianna Stewart. Sophie Cunningham.
There we go. That's the 5 superstars of the week.
No, I have more. Maybe not off top. Paige Beckers.
Yeah. New blood.
Fuck. Oh, Haley Van Lith.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm close now.
You're within 3. One of them has a shoe and was in the NBA All-Star game 2 years ago.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. What the fuck? Sabrina Ionescu.
Yeah.
Fuck, 2 more. Oh,
Darren
what was
Waller.
Girl's name? There's the really tall girl that was controversial for a sec.
Oh yeah, she got locked up in Russia.
Oh yeah. No, not her. She wasn't controversial. Fuck, what was her name though? Brain farting. No, this other girl. Damn. I know I got more, but I don't want to be thinking on the pod. This is very boring for the listeners right now.
Okay, moving on. He didn't have the 10, but she
if
could
I
be
throw
a
them
superstar.
out throughout this,
Yeah, that's
still
fine.
get it.
That's fine. Okay, we're done with the finals. Congrats to OKC. SGA did his thing, won absolutely everything. Indiana, hell of a run. Sucks when a small market comes up a little bit short like that, because I know it would have meant not more than OKC because they're pretty small too, but it just means a lot when a small market team wins. We felt that.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, the Raptors could never win again, and we accomplished more than I would have thought, you know. So feel bad for Indiana, but they got Sophie and Caitlin, so they're gonna do their thing.
I don't want to say more, but it's hard to say more or less what it would matter. But OKC has only been around since the 2008-9 season. Indiana's been around forever, never won it.
Yeah, so 50 some odd years or something.
That would have been, and it's definitely a basketball state. They love their ball, so that would have been big.
Yeah. So hopefully, you know, Tyrese gets back quickly and good recovery, and then they make another run for it. The East is wide open, man, so it's possible. But in the West, Kevin Durant shipped for a bunch of late round picks. Thoughts?
And the 10th pick this year.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think amazing trade for Houston exactly what they needed. I think they still need like a 6-man just
Like
score.
Sophie Cunningham.
What the fuck's wrong? Guy's obsessed. No, like a Lou Will, preferably with more defense than Lou Will, but you know what I mean. Someone who can come off the bench, give you 15 to 18 a game, because they were so limited on offense, and then it's almost too much pressure on KD to like be the only guy to
Shore
close
that all
games
up
over there.
Yeah.
But dude, tremendous trade. You get rid of Dylan Brooks, which of course, you know, he's helpful, but on offense he's the most hit or miss other than Jalen Green. So they got rid of 2 guys who were so unreliable offensively. Brooks reliable defensively. Love it for Houston. Maybe they got one more trade up their sleeve and get a little bit more scoring punch, but absolutely love it. They were the 2nd seed this year.
Yep.
So let's see what they can do. I would not be surprised on a conference finals appearance. Like, I think they're right in the mix. I might take them over fucking Minnesota right now.
Possible.
Like Warriors, who knows? OKC is just the team to beat.
Yeah.
Probably for the foreseeable future, but I love it for Houston. For the Suns, remember when Stephen A went off on Matt Ishbia, the new owner, saying he's possibly the worst owner of all time?
This was a bad trade for the Suns, man.
Bro, they just
the hand was forced.
Yeah, they gave up 4 or 5 first-round picks to get KD 2.5 years ago, and then they get 5 second-rounders. This year's 10th, Jalen Green, who are apparently they're gonna try and move, and like Brooks, like, but their starting lineup's a joke. This is the new Suns starting lineup. Their guard trio is the worst I've ever seen. Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, who they can't get rid of, who they've been over all year, no trade clause, and Jalen Green. And then they've got Dylan Brooks at the 4, I guess, and Nick Richards, who's the Charlotte
And all
center.
of this, I just feel bad for my man Devin Booker, dude. Like, he was so close with that Suns team that was unreal. End up losing. Then he gets KD, thinks things are going to turn around. They don't. Now they bring in Beal, which turns out to be the worst of all the additions. And now they're going back to rebuilding. Like, the Suns just, they can't get it right, man. And that experiment of Booker, KD, and Beal, they achieved absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When it was just KD and Book and a little more depth, it was cool. But when Ishbia just new owner syndrome, Bill Simmons calls it.
Keep going.
They come in and they're just like, oh, I'm a genius. Like, no, Bradley Beal, that's a big name. I know that name. Let's go get Beal. Like, Beal's one of the worst contracts in the NBA, and he ain't about that life. He
don't got it no more.
He misses games all the damn time. So, yeah, they're gonna get worse before they get better because all 3 of their guards don't pass the ball. They're all score first. Jalen Green, Beal, fucking Booker. Like, I've never seen a worse complement of guards that don't complement each other at all.
Yeah, hopefully they got more up their sleeve.
Yeah.
Any last words on the NBA season?
You made me feel self-conscious. OKC, I'm very proud. I know I came in a little frustrated with your play, but it was like I still wasn't over game 6. Like, having a chance at a championship and just getting your ass beat like that is crazy. But congrats to OKC, for real. That was awesome. Canada's proud, I'd like to think. And yeah, Montreal. I mean, Montreal was gonna win either way. I saw Lou Dort and Matherin's families are close, and they would have watch parties together and shit. So
oh shit,
love
That's
that.
an awkward watch party, man.
Well, yeah, but like it was like an interview with both their sisters, and like both their families are all friends. Like, of course, like I don't know, they're saying they're all just happy regardless. It was funny in this game. Did you see Dort? Dort picked up Matherin picked up a foul. They like ran into each other at half court. I was like, oh, that's got to be a funny one at the family watch.
Dude, and then
party.
Dort dropped him at the end of the 4th. Like,
yeah.
Dort's got one thing. Richard Jefferson does a great job.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best.
Killed it.
He's
man.
hilarious. I do miss. I like Doris Burke. I know she's a legend and all, but I can't lie.
She kind of boring, dude.
For the she has some good, really good like things that she sees in the game, but she's so bad at the going to commercial and having like a dope line. Like Mark Jackson, the Mama There Goes That Man and all that shit. Like I miss Mark Jackson. I miss Jeff Van Gundy, and Mike Breen is timeless. Hopefully he never retires.
Yeah, she just lacks the energy. You need
Exactly.
someone a little more. Do a bump or something. Get that fucking energy flowing, bro. I was falling asleep.
Remember when your boy Drake like wore a T-shirt of her?
Oh yeah,
fucking weird.
Oh yeah, bro. He did his thing during that Raptors run, though, man. He going after the Bucks owner, and then after the Bucks owner's daughter. Drake was fucking the ambassador we needed. All right, the NBA season is over. Now's your chance to call the NBA champion the 2026 season and look like a real genius.
It's so easy to just want to say the previous year's finals, but we can't do that in the East. Like coming into this year, I think I just said OKC Boston. It felt inevitable all year.
The East playoffs was a shit show.
Yeah. So, okay, next year, before we even seen the draft or any of these trades, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Houston Rockets, they go acquire a nice sixth man, and they clamp down on the Thunder in a defensive battle for the ages. Let's go with Houston, and in the East, damn, Boston and Pacers fucking like
they're done.
What? Who's going? Fucking Detroit? That would be epic.
Whoa.
But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Donovan Mitchell gets that monkey off his back of not getting through the second round, and the Cavs retool and figure it out. Because sometimes when you lose like they did, when you're like 100% the favorite to win your series and you lose, sometimes teams just overreact and fucking start trading people. I think if they come back with a better mentality and no injuries, it's their year next year.
All right. I will say, in a turnaround of the ages, the Philadelphia 76ers do what's right and come out of the East, but they will be met by the best player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic. What is his fucking name?
Yo,
he's going to the finals.
The fuck did you
He's
just
winning
say?
the MVP. He's getting the SGA's triple crown. Jokic. What did I say? Jokic?
But you also called him Nikolai.
What's his name?
Nikola.
That's not that bad.
Bro, but when you mess up both...
Nikolai Piombo will win the NBA championship. Jokic wins. They could have done it this year, man, honestly.
I think no. I don't think they could have beat... Well, first of all, let's remember Minnesota was like built to beat them with their double big shit. I know they got rid of Cat, but they handled them. So that would have been a tough series for them to play.
But they were
Minnesota.
thin this year.
But yeah, exactly. But had they got to the finals and had to face that Pacers team, dog, I think they would have got ran out the gym because they would have been so
tired.
gassed with 6 guys.
Yeah, but this is a retooling year.
Yeah. No, okay. You're just saying this year they could have done it. I don't think so.
All right. Jokic.
So
and you say KD.
So, yeah. But who'd you have in the East? Sorry?
The Sixers. The 76ers. Don't worry. This is supposed to be a bold statement, dude. Don't pick the 2 best teams in the league, or like the team that just got KD, and then the last good team in the East, the Cavaliers.
Yeah, you can't. Now you're hating.
No,
on
you went crazy there. That's like last year, a couple years ago when we had our bold statements for MVP, and you picked Patrick Mahomes. Really went out on a limb there. Fucking hell.
He didn't win it, I don't think.
All right, NHL. The NBA's done. It was great.
Last thing.
I hated the regular season, but the playoffs were great.
For hockey?
No, for the NBA.
Oh, yeah. Agreed. Fully agreed. No effort in the regular season, even from the great teams. I saw a wicked photo, and you know how SGA is called free throw merchant and fucking constantly getting roasted. So dumb. But I saw a photo of him with all his trophies, and it said trophy merchant, and I was like, that's fucking G, because he got Western Conference Finals MVP trophy, Finals MVP trophy, MVP trophy,
and the chip,
and the championship trophy, and it's just all four of them at his feet.
That's unreal.
Yeah,
dude, I saw something on Twitter. Fuck, we can't get away from these NBA Finals, but it said, "Don't forget that it was Tyrese Halliburton's dad that came out with the breaking news to confirm the Achilles injury mid-game. They reached out to him, and he's the one that confirmed it. Just he might be the next NBA insider, Mr. Halliburton."
Yeah.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah, I mean, I have one more basketball thing. It's
Go
not
on,
NBA.
then.
Brittany Griner and Miss I think it's Emeka or Anika Agumake.
Currently in the league?
Yeah, it's I might be fucking up her first name, but you know the legend on ESPN.
Yeah.
Shanae Agumake, her sister's still in the league.
I find her annoying, man.
What? I love her. She used to sub in on Jalen and Jacoby, and ever since then I've been
she always going at my boy Doggy, man.
She's so nice, and like it's all jokes.
So.
What?
One that you forgot, Kelsey Plum.
Oh, yeah,
that was a layup, man.
I just saw her with the whole autograph thing, but still, I got my 10.
Yeah, that was weird. What like, do they not want to be stars, or do they want to be stars? What the hell is sign the autographs? You guys want more money? This is how you get it. All right, the NHL also over. Ended earlier in the week. Did we talk about this last week? It feels like a last week story.
It does, because it was days ago, but we haven't talked about it.
The Florida Panthers get the job done in 6 games. Were they in Edmonton when they won?
Yeah, no,
I believe so.
They were in Florida.
So it was 5 games?
No, 6.
Oh, 6 games. Yeah, you're right. Get the job done in Florida. Wasn't even close. This is what Florida does to teams, man. They just wear you down over the course of the series, and this was no different. Offensive explosion from Sam Reinhart, and that's it, man. It just seemed inevitable as the series went on that the Oilers didn't have what it took.
Yeah, that was a bummer. I think I watched until 3-0, and then I was like, I've had enough. And you knew it was coming, man. I think I said this last week. The games that the Oilers won were extremely close, down to the wire, and all the other games were fucking blowouts, like just different levels. And I wasn't about to sit through a whole fucking blowout there and then watch another American team hoist the damn Stanley Cup trophy.
He did a team full of Canadians, at least. You know, yeah. Marchand did his thing. Sam Bennett wins Finals MVP. Goaltending was a big difference. You know, Edmonton could not get a save when they needed it, and on the other side, they had trouble scoring all series long. Sucks. McDavid and Draisaitl absolutely devastated to go to the finals 2 years in a row, come home empty-handed. McDavid's going to leave Edmonton, and it's going to be just as big as when Wayne Gretzky left.
But Gretzky left with titles, man. Come on,
he did.
McDavid, about to pull a LeBron James. What was I gonna say? Yo, that one goal was so dust. Where I think the puck came from out the air, and what's his name? Skinner.
Stuart Skinner. Catch the fucking puck.
Yeah, the one that just bounced off his chest and just goes right to the homie.
The thing about that one is your team's obviously exhausted. They've got you hemmed into your zone for like over a minute. They're praying for a whistle, and then a light shot on net. The guy fucking chested like he's Lionel Messi. Boom, rebound.
That was so.
That was pathetic. Stuart Skinner.
And that was the not the deciding goal.
That was the 3-0 goal.
Yeah,
that's
was
the
it 3-0
one.
or 3-1 or 3-0?
I think it was 3-0. That's the one that that killed them.
I think it was to go up 3 goals, whether it was 4-1 or 3-0. But that was just like, that can't happen, man.
No, that the goaltending, there was a big difference in skill in the goaltending.
And it also looked like you know when a team's so dominant that it looks like they're on a power play, and then I'm counting the defenders. I'm like, there's 5 guys out there. Why are they just chilling like in this fucking just looking.
One thing I'll say for all those teams out there who, you know, small market teams who never really get over the hump in any sport, the Jacksonville Jaguars of the world, the Charlotte Hornets of the world, the Chicago White Sox, you name the sport, there's teams that just get dumped on for years and years. The New York Jets, I mean, they won, but they are awful. Exactly. The Florida Panthers were absolutely awful. No one ever saw this coming. Ever. They hire a coach who was ridiculed at the beginning of his tenure as coach of the Florida Panthers. And look at them now. Anything is fucking possible when you get the right group together. So I'm actually happy for the Florida Panthers and the Florida Panther fans more than anything, because they were goddamn awful forever. And now they're best in the world 2 years in a row, the finals 3 years in a row. And it doesn't seem like any of these guys are going to leave. You know, they got a number of big free agents, and it seems like, why would they want to leave? You know, the team's unstoppable. You live in Florida, you drive a golf cart to the arena every day. There's no state tax. Why leave, man?
Someone's going to have to fucking step up and hand it to them like my Vegas Knights did. You dig?
They did. But before Florida, it was Tampa Bay. These teams in Florida, they got something going on, man.
Damn, yo, that's pretty G. I don't know. Maybe you can name a team in any sport, but I haven't seen since the 2008 to 2010 Lakers lose the first one and then win 2 in a row. That's got to be pretty rare.
It's rare to even go back to back these days.
Well, in hockey for sure, but I'm saying in all sports, I haven't seen that where you lose. Oh, the Heat did it, but then they lost the 4th. The Lakers never made it back to a 4th. But like that's impressive to go lose and then win 2 in a row.
I think I might fuck this stat up, but there's a guy on the Oilers, Corey Perry, who's been to the finals 5 of the last 6 years and lost all 5.
I saw that stat. I was hoping it was fake.
No, that's the real deal.
Oh,
luckily, he won one early in his career with the Anaheim Ducks. But yeah, he's been bouncing around. He was in Dallas and a couple times with Edmonton and then Tampa Bay. And he was there for all the losses, bro. That's devastating.
That's I can't even imagine. I was gonna say that the Chiefs did it, but they lost. Or they didn't get there. They won and then they lost to the Bengals and then they won 2 in a row, right?
Well, they lost to Brady as well in the finals.
Yeah. But I think.
So what is he 3-2 in finals appearances now?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. All right. All we have to look forward to, you know, we're going to enjoy this summer. No rush, but the NFL season is around the corner. Woo. That's next up. We're going to be back on the airwaves leading into the NFL season. One thing you hope to see happen this year in the NFL. Could be anything. Think outside the box. Booger McFarland returning. Jameis Winston getting a starting job.
These are yours. They're great.
Yeah, those are my 2. But anything else?
Shit, I didn't think about this beforehand.
The Baltimore Ravens go out and sign Yair Alexander, star cornerback from...
Yo, your pronunciations are...
from the Green Bay Packers, man. What an addition. What is it, Jair?
Yeah.
Dude. Whatever, dude.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, I mean, I'm assuming we're going to do this after training camp and all that, have some predictions. But my early prediction is Baltimore finally gets it done, because I'm realistic. I know the Steelers don't have a chance this year, so I got to pick outside of my own camp. But 2 things I'd love to see happen this year. One, the Steelers. Forgive me, Steeler Nation. I'm just not believing in this team. The Steelers get a top 5 draft pick and find their QB of the future. That's one. And two, I would love to see the Bills lose in devastating fashion in the playoffs once again.
What the fuck?
I would have thought of something better, but you didn't prepare me with. I didn't have time to think.
Things I want to see happen. Joe Burrow wins the MVP. The Cincinnati Bengals get off to a fast start 3-0, and Jamar Chase, fuck now, wins Offensive Player of the Year. But the Atlanta Falcons behind Penix Jr., Drake London.
Yo, stop!
What?
Yo,
that's his name.
Are you now? I'm like, are you doing this stuff?
How do you say
Penix.
that?
Penix.
Oh, that's not a
You
big
just
deal.
said Penix, like penis. Yo.
Penix Jr., Drake London, and Bijan Robinson win the division and go on a run.
That would be. Wait, did they miss the playoffs last year? Didn't they lose some fucking?
Well, that's why he
horrible
got
game
the
at the
job,
end?
because Kirk was fucking blowing it, and then he came in to save the season.
Yeah, and they lost a game they shouldn't have, I think, to miss the playoffs, right?
Yeah. So that's it. The Bengals and the Falcons doing all sorts of winning.
I love that.
And MVP. Do an MVP.
MVP
to finish the season. Finish season 21 of the Bunt with your final pick for MVP of the next NFL
I
season.
had one the other day in my head, and it was like a random one. This isn't what it is, and I doubt this happens, but Simon Disher, let's go. Jags. Trevor Lawrence finally figures it out, puts it all together. The prince that was
MVP?
chosen wins MVP. Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. catching TDs all over the yards.
The prince who was promised. Jared Goff, I'm going back to back. Jared Goff will be the MVP this year.
He didn't let you down enough last year?
What do you mean let me down? He had a hell of a year.
I mean,
dude,
yeah,
did you see
was
there
good.
was a video? You ever know the videos of when the Pope gets like wheelchaired out onto the balcony to say hi to all the people?
Yeah.
And it was the 49ers wheeling Christian McCaffrey to the balcony to tell the fans that he'll be back this season. All right, any last words for the pod, man? We got some thank yous, obviously. Thank you to everyone who came on the pod this season, all the guests, everyone in Random Skater, everyone we hit up throughout the season to help with some insider info on all the interviews. Massive thanks to Davis for hosting Random Skater. We got Richie Valdez, Jay Burrows, Ants One, Scotty Booth, Morgan Smith, everyone working behind the scenes to make this dream a reality, man. Couldn't do it without y'all. And then obviously the sponsors, man. Vans, Mob Grip, Beamer Beer, CHPO brand, Deluxe,
Dickies.
Did I forget one? Dickies, man. Quality workwear since 1922.
The Den, all the
Den.
homies. Yeah, that's why it's dangerous when you start naming people.
That's why we got two of us, man.
Did you say Zank?
He didn't do anything for the pod. You just want to give him extra
shout him
credit
out.
because you're welcome to the team.
Welcome to the team, man. Yeah, I
Wrap this
echo all
shit up,
that.
man. You
It's-
wrap this one up.
It's been such a fun season. I think even if we tried, we couldn't have timed it better for the playoff run. So that was so fun. Yeah, thanks to every single person who hit up the post office. Thanks to Mason, who always comes through in our final episodes. And honestly, I don't know if I can say this right now, Donald, but I hope to see a lot of y'all in Detroit. And hopefully we got a little something popping this summer. You get me? But we'll see
That
y'all
was a
then.
risky one.
Very excited and sad this season's coming to an end. But, we'll be back for season 22 before you know it.
Oh, later, y'all.